Edmonton Sports Talk. My God, I love this.
My name's Milne. Hashtag Blue Crew.
Our sports update deliverer. The Coon.
I'm Zachary Duvish. You're up today. You know what? Read your mic for us.
All right, here's what's going on in the National. It's tentacle time. The Edmonton Oilers hosting the Seattle Kraken tonight at Rogers Place. It's a 7:30 game, Game 4 of the Oilers' 6-game homestand. They're coming off a win over Buffalo on Saturday afternoon. Connor McDavid back in action after serving the 3-game suspension and expected to start tonight on a line with Leon Draisaitl and Zach Hyman. We'll give you your full lineup for the Oilers as we move along throughout the afternoon. I can tell you that Calvin Pickard will start in net as Stuart Skinner away from the team this morning as his wife is giving birth to their second child. I haven't seen if the child has actually arrived yet, but Skinner may not even be available for the game as a backup, so that's something to keep an eye on. Darnell Nurse didn't take the morning skate. He's under the weather, but is expected to play. So 7:30 game, 6:30 for the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show here on Edmonton Sports Talk with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas. We have a new intro to the show. I did not know that was even going to happen today. We just get surprised with stuff. Pleasantly surprised. So that was nice.
That was, I believe, was the Tube working on that, Coob?
That was Tube Trev. Yeah, YouTube Trev chefed it up, and he came to me this morning.
Did
and
he do that, or did Dustin do that?
He did that. He manufactured that himself. Of course, on iHeart, you would have just heard our lovely voices, but the visual aspects of it are great. Go back if you want to watch that. But we got the new intro cooked up, and it was a bit of a surprise. He came up to me this morning and said, "Psst, Zach, I need to talk to you over here."
Oh, that's what that was. I heard you guys talking there.
We're gossiping, yeah.
I thought he just wanted to complain about all the older employees. Okay.
That is awesome. Round of clicks for YouTube, Trev.
Good job.
Well done, young man.
YTT. Okay, awesome stuff. Thanks a lot for checking out the show this afternoon. Hope you had a great weekend. Plenty of Oilers and hockey-related storylines to talk about throughout the afternoon. Of course, we'll look at the National Football League Conference Championship games from yesterday. Jay Milne's Washington Commanders soundly beaten by the Philadelphia Eagles, while the Chiefs win another close one and continue the pursuit of a third consecutive Super Bowl championship, which has never happened. We are happy to hear from you this afternoon. If you are consuming the show on the video feed on YouTube, thank you. And you can jump into the nasty chat there and speak with us and with each other. If you are there, remember to give us a thumbs up. If everybody did it now, we would easily reach our initial plateau of getting to at least, I should say, 100 every show. We've been typically over 150 every show now for the last couple of weeks, which is pretty cool. You can email the program, and I expect that I will get some limericks in the email this afternoon. Read at edmontonsportstalk.com. You can also text the afternoon inbox presented by the River Cree Resort and Casino, home of Tap 25 Restaurant, where the entire menu is 50% off 7 days a week from 2 to 5 p.m., and that number is 780-218-9999. We will be taking your guesses, your submitted guesses for the Hudson's Canada's Pub Mystery Athlete of the Game throughout the afternoon, or at least until somebody wins it. I'll start with the first clue for today's mystery player in about 5 to 10 minutes. So here's what we expect for the Oilers tonight. I mentioned McDavid back between Draisaitl and Hyman. Henrique with Podkolzin and Arvidsson. Nugent Hopkins centering Janmark and Brown. And Noah Philp between Perry and Kapanen. This means, Jay, and I want to get your reaction to this and to these forward lines, this means that Jeff Skinner, after scoring against his former team, the Buffalo Sabres on Saturday, is back to being a healthy scratch.
Well, what can you say, Reid? I don't know why. I don't think you know why. It doesn't seem to be... Well, I can tell you one thing that's consistent is that he's the odd man out. It seems more and more. It used to be, was it him or D. Ryan? Well, now with D. Ryan gone, he's clearly the guy that's going to be, in or out. Now, who would you suggest he would come in for
I thought that there was a chance, and I talked about this with Tom on Saturday after the game. I thought there was a chance they would take Philp out for a game. Now, I do think Philp is here for a stint. He's here to get NHL experience. He's there to see how he's going to look. But I also thought, okay, Kapanen has made plays leading to goals 2 games in a row, right? He scored on his own rebound against Vancouver. He made the spinorama and the wraparound attempt against Buffalo, and Nugent Hopkins shot in the rebound. And then Jeff Skinner actually scores, and he actually scored 5-on-5. So he was on the power play against the Canucks and had 3 good chances on the power play, and then he scores against the Buffalo Sabres. I thought, do you give him another game to see if he can keep building on that? And I thought maybe you get a center back. You know, you can still, if you want to, play around with McDavid and Draisaitl on different lines, and even Nuge on a different line. You know, Henrique can play center. Yeah, they've had Janmark playing some centers in games. So I thought maybe just for this one game, even though you want to look at Philp, is it just easiest to take the least experienced player out? You know, and then say to Noah, hey, you know what, you're playing well. You didn't play a lot last game. We're going to give you a game just to sort of look. We want to reward some other performances, and you're back one way or the other Thursday against Detroit. Apparently, I was the only one thinking that way. And I understand why Jeff Skinner would come out, because on the whole, clearly there are his 5-on-5 game isn't consistent as some other guys on the roster.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's pretty hard to become consistent if you're not getting consistent opportunities to be consistent.
Chicken, egg, where are you?
Where are you? Now, the surprising thing here for me, Reid, was that, you know, wasn't it the first time that the Oilers went up full on nuclear? And the question was raised by you. If you can go nuclear all the time and have Nuge centering your second line, why not do that? Because they did look very good. But now you've got Henrique up there and Nuge centering Janmark and Brown.
Right.
Why do you think that is?
Well, I think they're just trying to spread it around and see if they can get a consistent push.
But it was working with RNH centering there.
Yes.
I just don't understand. Sometimes it seems as though maybe, well, obviously, Knobloch knows way more than any of us. But if you got something going or something that you're working towards, because that would offer you some decent, you know, second line opportunities, and they did prove that they could score, and you know, make some hay. But I don't know. The Henrique up, I don't understand, and then Skinner, I don't know.
Well,
I think he's just fallen out of favor.
I think Nugent Hopkins, Janmark, and Brown is the second line.
Yeah,
to me, that's the second line, though I know they weren't listed that way.
I understand that, but I thought you'd want to have Nuge centering Podkolzin and Arvidsson, not Henrique.
Yeah, that's understandable, and who knows, it may shake down that way by the end of the night. But as I've said, I've kind of backed off being, why are they going nuclear? Why are they going nuclear? McDavid and Draisaitl can't be together if lines 2 and 3 are consistent and competitive and spend time in the offensive zone. So maybe they think that middle 6 just plays out better that way with Henrique and Podkolzin and Arvidsson and Nugent Hopkins and Janmark and Brown. I'm just trying to guess what the coaches think here.
Well, Penner's Pancake, agrees. If they're sitting Skinner, this is becoming asset mismanagement at this point, with $3 million constantly sitting in the press box. Work out a deal with him and free up that cap space.
Quaddy says, can someone tell me why Arvidsson is not held to the same standard as Kapanen and Skinner? To my eye, he has been ineffective lately. Sit him a game. All right, Quaddy, I love that question, because I'm going to start by answering that question generally. And some people already know where I'm going with this. Jay, even though it's only been a few months for us, you might even know where I'm going with this.
I can tell.
Sports ain't fair, baby. So, no, Quaddy, before you roll your eyes and send me hate mail, I as observers of the game and as fans of the Oilers, you can't, I would advise you, don't sit there and say, that's not fair. The coach sat that guy. Why doesn't he sit this guy? It'd be great if it was all that simple. It doesn't work that way. So now, the question is, can someone tell me why Arvidsson is not held to the same standard as Kapanen and Skinner? To my eye, he is not. He has been ineffective lately. Sit him a game. All right. Viktor Arvidsson maybe doesn't always get points. I would agree that his point total is underwhelming, but I think like Podkolzin, who, you know, we've talked about where he belongs in the lineup, but you wouldn't take him out. Oddly enough, Podkolzin and Arvidsson have identical stats, even though Arvidsson has played fewer games. They both have 6, 13, 19. So I think that they're looking at things like board battles, defensive positioning, getting, you know, the puck into a better place to clear it or set up something offensively, and just playing within the structure of how the Oilers want to play. And I still remember about a month ago when that Lance Lysowski, who covers the Sabres, put out that tweet basically saying that Jeff Skinner is somewhat of a freelance type of player.
Right.
So that doesn't mean he's a bad player. It doesn't mean he can't be effective, but it means he's sort of used to creating and doing things maybe on a little bit of instinct, as opposed to, all right, this is our positioning. This is how we structure our forecheck. This is how we get out through the neutral zone. Now, I don't say this, Quaddy, or anybody else, to defend Knobloch or say that Knobloch is always right. I put this forward as some thinking about how this player is perhaps perceived that leads to him being a healthy scratch. And remember, I just said I wouldn't have scratched him tonight. Yeah, I would have given him another game to see if he could score 2 games in a row. So that's just something I would ask people to remember. And you know, the old thing, well, that's not fair. Unfortunately, that doesn't apply. And I even remember Todd McClellan said once, he said, no, actually, this is how Todd put it. He said, you have to treat all players fairly. Fairly doesn't mean equally. Okay, Leon Draisaitl, what was it against Philadelphia? This was game 4 of the season, but Leon Draisaitl took a stupid penalty and was having an off night. Do you remember how many shifts he missed? 2.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Other guys lose a key face-off and they don't play the rest of the game. So yes, there are standards, and yes, there are behaviors that maybe aren't great, but it doesn't mean every player gets pulled out of the lineup if they have an off night or aren't producing. And points are important. I wish Arvidsson had more points. There's no doubt about that. I thought he'd score 20 goals, no problem. He most likely won't. And Jeff Skinner actually has more goals now than Arvidsson. But what I think is that they're looking at the body of the work and how a player performs on the whole, not just when he has the puck. Quaddy, I don't expect you to like it.
Well, and Abutsky writes into the River Cree inbox, if you want to have your opinion, 780-218-9999. I don't care who's out of the Oilers lineup or who's playing with who. Just win, baby. And they've been doing.
They have been winning more often than not.
Now, Reid, let me ask you this: in respect to the Arvidsson, Skinner, why aren't they treated the same? Is this something that we're 4 games away from being 2/3 through the season? Okay, is this something where Arvidsson is somebody you're going to look to depend on in the playoffs?
Yes.
Where Jeff Skinner has never been in the playoffs, and is that maybe where you could see an edge? In maybe some leeway as to who Knobloch's keeping in as opposed to sitting.
Well, yeah, I guess. You'd have to say Arvidsson is a better playoff style player,
absolutely,
because he's been in the playoffs and Jeff Skinner hasn't. I just think it's. No, I don't want to say it that way. I was going to say it's easier to scratch Jeff Skinner, but that's not fair. It's just. They still look at it and say, okay, again, I would have kept them in.
Yep.
But does the coaching staff look at the last game, or do they look at the last month and say, well, still 5-on-5, we don't trust him as much as we trust some other guys?
But that is the old chicken and egg thing like we were talking about. You had a player that hey, you're here to score goals. Well, guess what? Player delivered a goal on the weekend. And now, Monday, 2 days later, the next game, he's out of the lineup.
Right.
That doesn't exactly, speak consistency and hey, you work your tail off, you put pucks in the net and you'll get rewarded. Well, that just simply isn't true.
Well, and here's the thing. Like, I appreciate the discussion about Jeff Skinner, and we've had it on this show a lot. Like, he's a player with some pedigree. He's making $3 million a season. He's generally been a lock to score at least 20 in a season. I mean, what we were looking at Buffalo, he had over 33 2 or 3 times. So that's all fair. But like we've been saying, the Oilers have about 3/4 of their points for the last almost 3 months now. So I guess maybe I'll throw this back as a counter. If the Oilers were losing a bunch of games 2-1 or 3-2 and needed a goal or two, then you might be able to say, well, maybe Skinner would get that goal. You can't say that because they win quite a lot. So then I guess the coaching staff is saying, okay, we can score. We need some other attributes to check and keep the puck out of our own net. And Jeff Skinner doesn't consistently have those attributes. Is that a summary of maybe what they're thinking?
Sure. And he's consistently not getting the opportunity. Right? So how can you prove that you do have those attributes if you're in the press box?
Well, I get that. I get that, but I think they also let's face it, they also look at a player over the whole course of his career.
Fair enough.
Owen Gagne says the average fan sees goals, points, plus, minus, and time on ice. The coaches in the film room see how often a player missed an assignment, didn't get to a spot. We see outcome, they see process. Well, I think that's very good. And that is the one thing I have said watching now Podkolzin night after night. He's usually in the right place. He back checks hard. He is strong along the wall. He will muscle pucks out.
Well, and I mean, you look at it. You said it. Not on the penalty kill. Not much time on the power play, if any. So you have to be a leader in 5-on-5 playmaking and defensive zone coverage. He's maybe half of one of those.
Yeah.
So there's too many things against Jeff Skinner. I'm not yay or nay for it. It's confusing, and it's obviously confusing a lot of listeners and people watching, right?
Yeah, which I get it. Anyway, it's a good discussion. I mean, yes, and then there are some players who, you wish there were more points from or more productivity, but also the Oilers usually win if you go back to the second week of November. All right. Again, River Korean Box, 780-218-9999. You're going to hear audio from McDavid, Knobloch, and Henrique coming up in the next segment of the show. Every Oilers game day, we have the Hudson's Canada's Pub mystery athlete of the game. So you can only text your guesses to the River Korean Box, 780-218-9999. You are trying to win a $25 gift card to Hudson's Canada's Pub. All right? So Hudson's Canada's Pub, you're invited down tonight for the Oilers game. Join us Fridays and Saturdays for the late night happy hour specials. That's after 9. Food starting at $4, drinks at $3.75. Book your reservation now, hudsonscanadaspub.com. Again, text over. Don't put stuff in the nasty chat. You can't win there if you are right. The first clue today is cutter. The first clue is cutter. We'll leave it at that.
We have to.
That's a good point. I couldn't do. It's like, talk about respecting the process.
We don't have a choice.
Yeah. If I went off and started giving 18 clues at once, I'd get benched.
Yeah, we'd have to put you in the press box.
I'd have to spend a game or two in the press box.
That'd be interesting. We should maybe we do have a big staff meeting tomorrow. Maybe we should ask to
have a doghouse.
We should implement a press box.
We could get someone to build a doghouse for us, and somebody does something bad, they go sit in the doghouse.
Sorry, Jay. You're gonna have to take the day off.
Sit in the doghouse for a while.
Sit on the reclining chair and play video games.
Oh,
the press box.
Quite a punishment. Yeah. All right. We'll get to the off topic in the next segment because we want to have a little bit of fun with that.
Yeah.
And we'll get to Connor McDavid comments on returning to the lineup. We have our good friend Zachary Kubish with a sports update.
Captain Connor McDavid is back for the Oilers as they challenge the Kraken, and there's no better way to get set for the action than tuning into the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas live at 6:30 right here on EST. And the NHL sees 4 other games with St. Louis hosting Vancouver, the Devils meeting the Flyers, the Kings matching up against the Red Wings, and the Pens battling the Sharks, having Evgeny Malkin out for some time as he hits the injured reserve due to a lower body injury. In Washington, 27-year-old Logan Thompson and the Capitals have agreed to a deal worth 6 years at $35 million on an extension. And staying out east, the Otters of the OHL have fired head coach Stan Butler after his team underwent an internal review. Down south, Jimmy Butler has been suspended for the 3rd time this month by his own team, and Butler received the new suspension from the Heat this morning after he walked away from a shootout prepping for the game tonight and is expected to miss at least 5 games. Entering today, Butler has missed 14 of the Heat's previous 19 matches. And on tap tonight is Toronto and the Pelicans battling, seeing a dozen games around the NBA. This sports update is brought to you by Sit and Sleep. Transform your home at a fraction of the cost during Sit and Sleep's winter clearance event. For massive discounts on major sleep brands to unbeatable deals on Canadian-made custom furniture, Sit and Sleep's winter clearance event is a can't miss. Plus, enjoy free local white glove delivery and special financing offers to help you bring home the best. Visit Sit and Sleep today in South Common, next to Planet Fitness. I'm Zachary Kubish. That was your sports update. More Oilers chat on the other side of the break here on EST.
GCL Diesel has been serving oil country since 1972. From diesel cars to SUVs to pickups. From farm tractors to school buses to a big rig. From diesel generators to forklifts, GCL can test, troubleshoot, and repair all diesel fuel system components. Whether it's injectors, pumps, turbos, filters, or additive, GCL has the parts you need to keep your diesel running the way it should. For genuine diesel parts at wholesale prices, visit GCL Diesel in the West End or online at GCLDiesel.com. GCL Diesel. Diesel understood.
Food Sausages makes their meat with nothing but the best local ingredients. From chicken, beef, and pork, their gluten-free sausages are packed with flavor. Every single bite. Get a 10% discount when mentioning Edmonton Sports Talk in-store or use the code EST when shopping online at foodsausages.ca. Plus, you get free delivery on orders of $100 or more. Find them at 6736 99th Street. Food Sausages. You can't beat our meat.
Hey Edmonton, ready to take advantage of lower rates and better pricing? South Fort Chevrolet in Fort Saskatchewan has you covered. From rugged trucks to sleek SUVs. And with over 40 years in business, you can trust that you're getting the best deal on your new ride. As the proud title sponsor of The Nielsen Show, EST listeners can drive a little to save a lot with South Fort Chevrolet's transparent pricing and down-to-earth sales team. Visit us today in Fort Saskatchewan or online at southfortchev.com.
The grand opening sale at Sit and Sleep is almost over. This is your last chance to take advantage of the special introductory sale prices on all mattresses. Stop in today for a free pressure point scan using cutting-edge technology so sleepologists can identify the perfect mattress for you. Right now, get free local delivery on any mattress over $7.99 and receive a free bamboo cooling mattress protector. Enjoy grand opening savings with every mattress on sale. Join us on location today for the final celebrations at Sit and Sleep in South Common next to Planet Fitness. Don't miss out the grand opening sale ends soon.
All right, is that your band? That's not your band.
not my
Is this
band.
some YouTube music, Coop?
Yes, Ethan Mexell.
All right. Congratulations, Ethan, for being on the Reid Wilkins Show with Jason Milne. Thanks a lot for joining us. Game day here in Edmonton, 7:30 start against the Tentacles at Rogers Place. So 6:30 for Tom and Hernan. What's happened there? Oh, my mic sock is askew. Thanks for giving it a gentle tap, Jay.
Bonus points for using the word askew.
Thank you. Well, I try to fit in some vocab every day. 780-218-9999 is the River Cree inbox. You can submit your guesses there for the Hudson's Canada's Pub mystery athlete of the game. Clue number 2, probably around 4, if we remember.
Yeah.
All right, we'll do it then. So the Oilers are taking on the Seattle Kraken. Now,
They've had some
Krakens
success.
are not real.
What?
It's inspired by a giant squid. The Kraken is a legendary sea monster from Norse mythology. Okay? So we want this for our off-topic topic from you, because you, our listeners, you, the nasties, are very creative and humorous. The off-topic topic presented by William Huff. Since 1952, William Huff has provided industry-leading advertising solutions for thousands of valued clients. Their unparalleled customer service, combined with decades of industry expertise and a desire to make every job the very best can be, is what they call the William Huff Advantage. Visit their website at williamhuff.com or give them a shout, 780-454-4536. So if you got an NHL expansion team and you had to name it after a mythical creature, a mythical beast, a legendary creature, an animal that isn't real, or some sort of creature that isn't real, what would the name of the team be? Okay? What mythical beast would you name your team after? This should be a good one.
Now, or what team are we talking here? Like, you can make up a team?
You can make up the team, I guess, yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to make a team name for Arvidsson.
Okay.
Okay? The Arvidsson Arion. The Arvidsson Arion.
What is it? Aerion? See, I'm already doing word of the day.
Arion.
What is an Arion?
It's a divinely bred, fabulously fast, black-maned horse.
Oh, that's pretty good.
It's the offspring of Poseidon and Demeter. Demeter?
I think it's Demeter.
Yeah. The Arvidsson Arion.
That's pretty good. So it's a black horse.
Yeah.
Can it fly?
Fast. It's divine. It's fabulously fast. I don't know. Maybe we'll put wings on it.
Like Pegasus.
My logo. My team. It can fly. What's yours?
Well, there's a few different ways to go here.
Air Wilkies?
I think it would be fun. Now, people might say, oh, Reid, that's not really a mythical beast or creature. So maybe I'll give two. I think it'd be cool to have a team called the Boogeymen. Like, wouldn't that be great for a minor league hockey team?
Bashaw Boogeymen.
The Bashaw Boogeymen. And the logo could just be like a creepy shadowed figure. Yeah.
And then they could dress up as ghosts when they come to the
exactly.
To the game. And that would be the goal song.
But there's a lot of different. I don't want to read off the list here because I want people to think of these themselves. But there are a whole bunch of options for this. So, what mythical beast or legendary creature would you name your team after? That's what we want to hear. Tom says the Stony Plain Ragnarok. Now, is Ragnarok a creature, or is that the Norse name for apocalypse? Having said that, that's a cool sounding name. The Stony Plain Ragnarok.
Ragnarok is a series of impending events.
Okay.
Yeah. Norse, from Norse mythology as well.
Reaper says the Caledon. It's a chimera, right? Not chimera. It's the chimera. And isn't that is that a snake type thing?
Wasn't that the poison in Mission Impossible?
Oh, maybe, yeah. The name chimera comes from the mythological creature with parts from multiple animals. Oh, so it's a whole bunch put together.
That's a good one.
Okay, so that's a good one. So we got some early good suggestions already.
Rob from the Grove, Utica Yetis.
And we may have a Yeti in the National Hockey League.
We may. C-Max from Southside, Edmonton Megalodons.
Oh, the giant sharks.
From Jada. Rip City Steps coming directly at Tom Gazzola and his bubblicious bottom.
So Tom
self-declared.
Tom declared that he has a big hockey booty.
He says he has a big hockey butt.
Okay.
And
Gager didn't like that.
Gager didn't like it.
Gager didn't like not being let into Tom's condo.
Have you seen Gager's ass? It's
pants.
It's a hockey.
Not
it's
bare.
A hockey butt.
Yeah, he has more of a hockey butt.
I got a little bit of,
Well, you played football.
Dump in the trunk.
You had to have a dumpster.
Yeah. Tom
to throw those tackles.
Tom's just he's throwing those terms around quite loosely. We do have a lot. Oh my gosh.
Well, what did he say? What did Rip City Step say though? For the name of the team?
He said the Edmonton Tom Gazzola's wife. because of its,
that's a mythical creature. The Edmonton Wives of Tom. The Wives of Gazzola.
I did see a Kraken once. Myself.
Where?
I saw a Kraken to sidewalk.
Oh my goodness! Wow. You know what? I
honestly made that up.
You know what Tom was going to do after the oil stream?
Yeah, I'm thinking on back.
I pressed too many things.
Oh no, you got to click them all back.
I don't know.
What is going on? What's something?
Oh god.
Dungeons and Dragons.
There it is. There it is. All right.
Read that. Just. Oh man.
In honor of
sorry, everybody.
Big Maple says, in honor of Reid loathing the Penguins' name, the Pittsburgh Pikachus. Did I say that right? That's a Pokemon.
Isn't that a Pokemon? Yeah.
And Bronco Nick says the Houston Hydra. That's a good one. The Hydra.
Very good.
Yeah. Okay. Mike, the Michigan fan, the Castor Chupacabras.
That's really good.
Also good. Really good stuff. Okay. We'll check back with those throughout the course of the show. Oilers against a mythical beast of a team tonight, the Seattle Kraken, as we bring you the Oil Understood for GCL Diesel, providers of the best diesel engine components around, from turbochargers to injectors, fuel pumps to sensors. They are the critical engine component experts. Proud to serve Edmonton and Northern Alberta for over 50 years, now a partner of Edmonton Sports Talk and the Reid Wilkins Show. GCL Diesel. Diesel! Understood. All right. Games at 7:30. McDavid's back. Here's what the captain had to say about returning to action.
Antsy to play. Excited to get going. It was a long week, just sitting around practicing. So ready to get going.
He's antsy. You'd expect that. He's ready to go. Gonna have a big game tonight, do you think?
McDavid? Yeah. I think any game he plays is usually a fairly good one.
Yeah, you could always predict he's going to have a good game.
I predict he's going to probably have 2 points.
Okay.
Yeah.
2 points for Jay?
Probably pretty fair.
Here's the head coach of the team, Chris Knobloch, on McDavid's return.
Potentially, anytime you get your best player back after a stretch, whether it's 1, 10, 15 games without him, you insert that player back in the lineup, it's a nice addition, to say the least. But when you add that player, often what happens is players take a step back. Oh, we got our player, we don't have to play as good. And collectively, everyone else takes a step back because you're getting your best player back. It's important that everyone plays that high level and doesn't just take for granted that we are getting Connor back.
All right. Hopefully they won't. This is an experienced Oilers team. I think they know how they have to play with or without McDavid. I think we saw that in at least 2 of the 3 games that they played without him. Adam Henrique commenting on the 3 games without Connor.
Yeah, pretty good. I think the guys did a good job. Just, you don't, replace them with just putting somebody in the lineup, and it has to be a collective effort. So, certainly things we want to clean up from last game that we learned from, but we found a way to win, and so we move forward now. Have him back in the lineup is a huge plus for us, and obviously a huge part of our team.
You like listening to Henrique?
Yeah, I do.
This is what's new to me is you hear now more of the raw audio as opposed to the clips. Like I'll put you on the so you're by yourself for some reason at Oilers practice, and they tell you can get any 3 guys for 3-minute interviews. Or who do you go to?
Okay. Ekholm.
I knew that would be your number one. That would probably be everybody's number one.
I like the guy. I like the way he talks. He's very positive. Speaks well. I've never heard Henrique speak, like that. Like we went through clips earlier. I like him, but he wouldn't make my top 3.
Okay.
Be Hyman.
Oh, yes. Very good.
And Corey Perry. Just because I don't think Corey Perry is going to hold anything back. If you ask him the right question.
He'll be honest.
If you come prepared, he'll be honest.
Right.
So Ekholm, Hyman, and Corey Perry.
That is a pretty good list.
What would yours be? That would be fascinating. I want to know yours. I'm going to put you right back on the spot.
Ekholm. I probably now Nugent Hopkins.
Sure.
He's become pretty good with the media and giving a thoughtful answer and saying something without getting controversial or off topic. I probably still would put Hyman on there. Again, you got to ask good questions because he will give an intelligent answer. I mean, I think Brown's been pretty good.
Sure.
But this is another thing with having a veteran team. I think fans and media benefit from that too, because they're more comfortable in that situation and kind of are more comfortable knowing when they can say something. Like even the stuff last week when we played McDavid talking about his suspension, he said stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Like he didn't come out and say he's going to go pitchfork Gary Bettman and drive him out of his home. But he still basically said that there's inconsistent officiating. Probably McDavid at 20 is just like 5-word answers. I want to get this over with. I got to be careful what to say. So I do think that's from a observer standpoint. Again, whether it's fan or media, and I don't think I'm being self-serving here just as a media person. I do think fans like to hear intelligent stuff, right? I mean, there's been, like, you've heard Ekholm after games. The nights they haven't played well, he said they played well. And there's been nights they've lost, and Ekholm has said, I'm not going to sit here and criticize the effort because we actually did a lot of things well. We just didn't win, right? So I think you appreciate that from players. But Ekholm's very, very good, and he kind of doesn't shy away from anything.
I think that comes from tenure as well, right?
Oh, for sure.
And learning the ropes and getting to know, I think, getting to know who you're talking to. Because don't kid yourself, Reid. I'm almost assured of this, is that they know who you are and who's going to bring the intellectual
The guys
questions,
who've been here longer,
right?
Yeah.
And they know, okay, well, I'm just going to, but I think, you've certainly challenged questions. And you told me this about Corey Perry earlier in the year, that you asked him a very specific question. I think it had to do with
the mucky muck. Did you muck it up enough?
Yeah, and you didn't know if he'd dismiss it, but he answered it.
He actually said no, we didn't, and then he gave an answer. Yeah. So anyway, side note there, but Henrique generally is a pretty good talker, and will at least be thoughtful about stuff. Continue to click the thumbs up. By the way, if you're watching us on YouTube, we could reach our initial goal of 100 in the next 20 seconds. Easily. So just give us clicks. We want to get well over 150 if we can't, even to 200, but let's start with 100 and keep it. If you're new to this, we don't do this just like, oh, hey, look, we got this many clicks today. We do it so the algorithm helps and the show on YouTube gets exposed to more and more people. If you're also listening on TuneIn or on the iHeartRadio app, we appreciate that as well. I was showing someone how to use, I went to Hello Hockey. I went on Hello Hockey on Saturday at Local.
Brilliant.
And I was sitting near Tom and Sean, and my server said to me, so what are you going to do now? I said, well, I'm actually going to go on with these guys. She goes, oh, is this like a podcast you guys do? And I said, well, actually, here's who we are and what we do. If you've heard of a radio station, that's what we are. It's just now streaming these days.
Yeah.
So
I was at a game on Friday night after the show. I went right down to Harry Ainley. My daughter was in the Tri-Prov tournament.
Oh, nice.
And I sit down, and I'm sitting down to former Eskimo then, Graham Bell, who I played Bears football against when he was with the Huskies. And he said, hey, how's the podcast thing going? I said, well, Bellsy,
that's one element of it.
I'm going to punch you in the face.
Well, that's the thing. Like, there's no difference between... there's no difference between this and when I did Inside Sports, because that show would also be podcast.
Yeah.
It's just when it's streaming, people have to wrap their head around like, oh, it's still live spoken word. Yes, it is. And we love doing it.
These names that are coming in, though.
Okay, Koob, I'll tell you, let's save the McDavid Four Nations face-off clip.
Yes.
For later. And we can save the Klingberg clip for later as well. Okay, Koob? Klingberg's not going to play tonight, maybe Thursday, basically. And he didn't practice today because I think he was doing some... immigration paperwork type stuff. I don't know if there's a better term for that. Let's do a couple names for the off-topic topic for William Huff. What mythical beast would you name your sports team after?
Well, Bronco Nick comes in with a heater here. He says the Denver... Oh, hang on.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
What's going on?
Oh, it's still playing? Hang on. Okay, guys, bear with me. Sorry.
Oh, my goodness.
Okay, Bronco Nick's in with some high heat. He says the Denver...
Dungeons and Dragons.
That's good.
That's pretty good.
Big Maple says, ooh, I forgot there's a place in Alberta called Acme. They would be the Acme Corporation. Now, that's not a myth.
They're not a mythical beast.
But
you
it's
can
a
interpret
great name.
a corporation as a form of a beast in people's lives. Sure.
Spent a lot of time in my life in Acme. That's where my wife is from.
Oh, right.
Yes. The Morinville Mongolian death worms.
I like that.
That comes in from Big Uke.
Are there death worms from different countries that Big Uke had to specify Mongolian?
Obvious. Well, I think it's going along with his mountain is molten magma.
Right. Okay.
So we could incorporate that word too. Now, Collingwood Rob did try Henway us.
Oh, no.
I caught it.
You caught it.
I called him out, but I still have to read it. He said, the Balzac, boy, my ass is sorest.
Oh, my God.
Travis, the Vikings?
Well, Vikings were real, though. Though that's funny.
It is funny.
I'm a bit of a stickler for facts and grammar.
True
Vikings were real. They're not mythical. Now, Norse has mythology around it, but yes. Coop's all anxious.
Okay. How about the Phoenixes?
Or just the Phoenix. I think the plural of Phoenix is Phoenix.
The Kalmar Senators?
Oh, Centaurs.
Centaurs,
half man, half horse.
Yes.
Yeah, it's just Centaurs. Yeah.
What about, Reno says the Redwater Romulans.
The Romulans are the Star Trek.
Right?
Star Trek
Good
ones,
one.
yeah. I guess that'd be a mythical creature for
I wonder
sure.
if that's Reno Gazzola.
Probably is.
See him at the poker tournament I think it's this Wednesday.
Wobman Werewolves, that's another good one.
Oh,
yeah, I was wondering if somebody was going to go with Werewolves.
Good job.
Somebody should name their team the Werewolves. We are in the James H. Brown studio. James H. Brown Personal Injury Law Firm. Trent Brown could strike like a werewolf when he played in the CFL. The heavy hitters of injury law with over 200 years of experience, James H. Brown will get you the settlement you deserve. JamesHBrown.com. Book your private consultation today. Plenty more on the Oilers and tonight's game. We do want to dive into how Jay's doing after Commander's loss, and we'll also look at a couple key plays from the Chiefs and the Bills. It's the Reid Wilkins Show with Jason Milne.
Connor McDavid returns to the Oilers fresh off his 3-game suspension to take on the Kraken, and you can join Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas as they preview the action during the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show at 6:30, only on EST. And 4 other games around the NHL has the Canucks dropping the puck against the Blues, LA out in Detroit, Philly hosting New Jersey, and the Penguins butting heads with the Sharks. And in Tampa, Emil Lilleberg has been handed a 2-game suspension for interference on Detroit's JT Comfort from hit on Saturday night. And Logan Thompson has agreed to his 6-year contract extension with the Caps worth just under $6 million a season. And back in Pittsburgh, Evgeny Malkin hits the injured reserve as he left Saturday's game against the Kraken after absorbing a knee-on-knee collision. In basketball, Miami's Jimmy Butler has been suspended indefinitely by his own team after he walked away from practice this morning, and Butler has missed 9 games this season due to suspensions from the Heat, with this newest penalty being a minimum of 5 games for Butler. Around the league, there's 12 games, including the Raptors, meeting the Pelicans. This sports update is brought to you by Paramount Flooring, proudly serving Edmonton and area for over 30 years. Their showroom offers all the best and latest in flooring, tiles, and area rugs. Find them at the corner of 184th Street and 107th Ave. They're open 7 days a week, and tell them EST sent you for 10% off your next purchase. You can shop in-store or online at ParamountFlooring.ca. The Oil Understood for GCL Diesel brings us back on the other side of the break. Here on the Reid Wilkins Show, I'm Zachary Kubish.
Want the heavy hitters on your team, both on and off the ice. If you've been injured in a car accident, call the heavy hitters of injury law. James H. Brown and Associates, Alberta Injury Lawyers. With over 200 years of combined injury law experience, their precedent-setting lawyers are ready to help. Locally owned and proud Edmonton Oilers fans, James H. Brown and Associates wants to support you with their unrivaled experience, unrivaled results, and unrivaled commitment. When accidents happen, head to jameshbrown.com.
Gallo LLP is an Alberta-based accounting firm with expert chartered professional accountants in both our Edmonton and Sherwood Park accounting firms. Our experienced and innovative accountants provide financial advice that saves our clients money. Simply put, we help our clients protect their assets and grow their businesses. At Gallo LLP, they go beyond the numbers to ensure the continued success of your business. Reach out to Preet or John to discuss how they can help your business grow. Visit gallollp.ca today and see how they can help you take your business to the next level.
Looking for quality building materials and friendly advice? Visit us at Windsor Plywood Leduc, family owned and locally run since 1993. From interior materials for doors, flooring, baseboards, and all the finishing touches to all you need for your outdoor projects like cedar lumber for decks and fences, plus all the plywood you'd need. Our full-time on-staff carpenter can help with anything odd-sized or custom, and from domestic hardwoods to exotic selections, we've got you covered. And if we don't have it, we'll track it down for you. Windsor Plywood Leduc. We're the experts you need to know. All right, good to have you tuning in this afternoon. Oilers and Kraken tonight at Rogers Place, 7:30 game. Oilers have, won 7 straight games against the Tentacles, so they'll try to keep that rolling tonight. Portions of this hour are presented by Canadian Brewhouse. The Canadian Ice House is taking your sports experience to a higher level of ultra cool. Trackman Golf Simulator is now open at the Ice House, an immersive and realistic golfing experience in the heart of downtown Edmonton. Visit thecanadianicehouse.com. All right. So we'll have plenty more on the Oilers a little bit later on, and we will have Everett Fitzhugh on the show. He is, I say this about a lot of guys who come on. He's like, a really nice guy. But there's a lot of really nice guys that are out there covering other teams. He does play-by-play for the Kraken on KGR radio out of Seattle. Awesome guy to talk to, and I've been having him on my show for the last, I even had him on. I might have had him on before Seattle even had a team name, because I think they hired him like a year and a half before they debuted.
Oh, wow.
As a broadcaster. So he's in Edmonton, so he's going to jump on with us.
That'll be the voices of the game.
It'll be voices of the game for Windsor Plywood Leduc. It's going to be great.
Can't wait, Reid.
It's going to be really good. All right, so I think a relevant question, though, to ask you, because not a lot, because I don't talk to a lot of people, but a few people said to me, including my mom last night, how's Jay doing?
Oh.
Commander's out.
Thanks, Louise. I'm doing great. I'm doing fine. Reid, the game, okay, I'll say the breakdown of the game. Okay, what did I say on Friday going into this weekend? Turnovers.
Yes.
Turnovers and Saquon Barkley. That's going to decide this game. Both of those went against the Commanders. They turned over the ball, and Saquon Barkley lit them up like a Christmas tree. 3 TDs, almost 8 yards per carry. You're not going to win. 4 turnovers for the Commanders. And it wasn't like they were just giving the ball over or whoops, I fumbled it. Philly was coming after that. They had seen that. They had game planned for it, especially on the Eckler one. They had game planned if a player gets up, and this is for any game, but when Eckler got up off the ground and went to move the ball forward, punch the ball out, the game was over by the third quarter. That Eckler fumble, that sealed the fate for the Commanders. But the future's bright. Jaden Daniels is a stud. Terry McLaurin is a stud.
Yep.
They've got the pieces offensively to go out now and add some more pieces to really make it that much more dynamic. But as a Commanders fan, I mean, it wasn't as hard of a blow as, say, it would have been for Dustin, who's a Lions guy.
Right.
You know, they've been knocking on this door for a few years. This was supposed to be the year, won the NFC, and then, got their hearts ripped out by the Commanders. So I'm in a little bit of a different spot. I appreciate the words of concern. Everything is all right. I did shave my face. I feel really good about that. I hate facial hair, so it was a win-win.
Oh, sorry, buddy.
A win-lose.
You gotta look at me every day.
A loss, but a win. But you look good with a beard, and you can grow
you
a
hate
beard.
your own facial hair.
Yes.
You don't hate other people.
Oh, I think you look fantastic. I actually appreciate good facial hair. I just can't grow it. I'm like a 13-year-old stuck in a 43-year-old body.
Well, no comment.
Yeah.
No. All right. Well, that's good. Was there anything you wanted to look at from that game?
Not from that game.
Okay.
We're going to move our attention and focus over to the big game. And that was last night. That was Kansas City hosting the Buffalo Bills. And once again, controversy. I mean, these two teams can't play. without something controversial happening. It seems more likely that the controversy happens when it's at, Arrowhead Stadium or Gayhab Field, whatever it's called now. Zach, go ahead and run this play. I mean, this was the game. This changed the game. Football is such a game of momentum. The Buffalo Bills, albeit, could have they called something different? Probably. This is a first down. I don't care. You can review it all you want. The spot of this was awful. I just feel terrible for Buffalo Bills fans because this was a first down. This wasn't even close. This was not something that should have even come to having to be challenged. It was just, I don't understand how you can have a referee that sees that so clearly come in and mark it a half yard short. And not to mention the ref on the top side of the field had a much different spot than the one on the bottom side.
That's what I find confusing.
That is embarrassing. That happens continually in favor of something the Chiefs are doing. All right. But, at the end of the day, we witnessed another classic. That game had you sitting on the edge of your seat the entire time. And to have it all come down, the final play of the game, and Coob, you can run that one.
Okay, because I have questions about this, some of which you already answered, but we want to.
You can just keep rolling.
So this is the Kansas City blitz that led to an incompletion when Buffalo had it 4th and 5. Now, Kansas City still had to make some nice plays after this.
Yeah, there was more time on the clock than one would think, but this was just and as much as you want to say, the Bills deserved a better fate, you have to give credit to Andy Reid and that whole coaching staff of dialing up plays like this where Buffalo was not expecting this blitz package to come through.
So explain that to me, because you would think a team on 4th and 5 is expecting a blitz. More than 4 players rushing, and they rushed 5.
And they rushed from the side.
So what made this so unique?
The corners, the short side corner coming off of that, off his man. And so here's the thing. The initial movement by Shakir to run into the backfield and then come back.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's just setting the tone for whether there's a zone or man. Okay, nobody followed him. This is a zone coverage. But then the cornerback blitzes. You don't expect a cornerback to blitz out of a zone package. And then they had a robber come down. I mean, everything they did was just something you just wouldn't see with the game on the line. If Josh Allen has the wherewithal to turn and float that ball to Shakir, he's got yards. He's got 30, 40 yards ahead of him. That game would have ended differently. Because the pressure was so strong and so fast, he didn't have a choice but to float that ball downfield to Dalton Kincaid, which should have had that catch. That's not a difficult catch to make. That's a routine catch. He was going this way. He had to come back and turn his body. You got to make that catch. It was just a comedy of errors at the end of the game. They got out-coached.
Well, and that's what I find. And as you know, I don't believe in the refs or the league is in favor of KC. I do believe that was a weird spot, especially since the one ref appeared to be giving them a first down and he would have had a better view. And it's pretty hard to review. It's pretty hard to overturn that given the mass of people. And there was a helmet in front of the ball as Allen was pushing with it. And as we were talking about this with Murray on the hangout earlier today too. The counter to that is don't leave it in the ref's hands. Get the first down by a yard. Get the first down by
that's a fair
2
point.
lengths of the football.
And you know what the counter is to that counter? Win the regular season. If this AFC Championship game is in Buffalo,
who knows?
That outcome is different. That's just plain and simple.
But
but Steve Spagnuolo deserves a lot of credit. Andy Reid deserves a lot of credit. It's easy to bash on them and say, "Oh, they're the big bad KC Chiefs. They're going to get all the calls." Well, Reid, we've said this before. Good teams find a way to put themselves in positions to win.
And as Kansas City has some obvious, that was actually a quieter game for Kelsey. Did he only have 2 catches, 2 or 3, I think?
Yeah, it was quiet for sure.
But I think of how often a Kansas City receiver is wide open. Now, Mahomes can also make difficult throws, and he has to find the guy. But there's something about, and look, that's why I find football fascinating, and I don't claim to totally understand. I can tell you when a guy's open. maybe 1% of the time I could tell you why he's open. The other 99% of the time, like, I don't know. But that's what I admire about Andy Reid is he obviously can design good plays. He can call the right play at the right time, and he empowers his players to make plays. I mean, we've seen Mahomes do the no look or the left hand toss that's clearly off script, and instead of getting yelled at this, like, remember that clip a couple years ago? Mahomes did something crazy, and he's running to the sidelines, and Andy Reid's going like the big O mouth, like, holy crap, I can't. He's not like, you okay at work, but don't ever do that again. He's like, hey man, you had to improvise, and you made a great play. So I do. I know a lot of people hate the Chiefs now. I don't cheer for them, but I enjoy watching them.
Okay, let me ask you this then. Well, I just wanted to bring one other thing up because this is all time. This stat. There's been 4 games in the NFL history, all time, where 2 QBs have combined for over 400 passing yards, 80-plus rush yards, a 65% completion rate or better, 5 or more total touchdowns, and 1 or less turnover combined. It's only happened 4 times in the history of this game, the NFL, that is.
Yeah.
All 4 games have been Mahomes and Josh Allen. Can you believe
incredible?
That? Like, you get it, you know what it is? It's almost like when Peyton Manning was coming up and having to bash heads with Tom Brady year after year after year, and Tom Brady and the Patriots would just get the better of the Colts time and time again. This is what's happening. Josh Allen will get his Super Bowl. It will happen. Yeah. He's still young. There's a lot of future ahead. Is this the most unlikable matchup in Super Bowl recent history?
See, I don't even know where to begin with that because I don't really think of it that way. I like watching the Super Bowl. I like watching football.
Okay, so like nobody likes Philly.
Yeah, even their own fans.
Even their own fans hate them. But Kansas City has kind of become, that nasty older brother that
which
just
is
won't
weird
lay
for
off.
me because when Mahomes came into the league, everybody loved them and was so exciting.
There has been a directional shift in the amount of, I guess, propensity to cheer for that team.
But I get it. If you see the same team winning over and over again and it's not your favorite team, you start to develop a hatred for them to some extent. Yeah, I guess you either jump on the bandwagon or you... Though I'm not on the bandwagon, but I'm also not against them. I'm just like, okay, they're good. I'm going to watch. Like if Buffalo would have won, I would have been like, okay, that's cool. Let's watch the next game.
Well, it does. I mean, now there's a storyline. And the kids are calling this Super Bowl LIX, eh?
LIX. What is that, 59?
A little Super Bowl LIX.
I want to...
It does open the conversation for storylines. I mean, obviously the main storyline is can Kansas City be the first team ever to go for a 3-peat, 3 in a row? No other team has done it. The redemption story of Saquon Barkley and just how utterly ashamed the New York Giants should be looking at this fella go off like he has. Back in the Super Bowl are the Philadelphia Eagles when nobody really thought they would come out. There's some good, and the main one, like I said, the 3-peat. And then the talk's going to be, if Mahomes win this, there's going to be a lot of GOAT conversation, which slow your roll.
Yeah, I would say let's do it till these later. Like I used to get maybe that's part of it because I will admit I kind of didn't like the Patriots. Now part of it is I don't like Boston teams, which is irrational. I get it, but I think that's why I maybe didn't enjoy watching the Patriots as much because it was like 2004. He'd won 3 Super Bowls, impressive. He's the GOAT. I was like, why do we have to decide now when he's not even 30? Like let's let his whole career play out. He turned out to be. Aiden, I want to touch on this. Aiden O'Neill asking, why did it say flag? They never mentioned anything. Well, Jim Nantz said we got a flag. And then I think Romo was like, I'm not sure. I don't see a flag. And then Nantz said something like, sorry, I got word from the sideline. There's a flag. There's no flag. Aiden says he heard it on the Bills radio broadcast as well. I'll take your word for it. I don't know.
The theory is that if Dalton Kincaid would have caught that ball, miraculous play, keep the drive alive, the play would have got halted by a
but
flag.
I didn't see one thrown. Certainly, if they would have had video of one being thrown, they would have shown it. I think somebody messed up in the moment and gave Nantz some bad intel. This is totally inside baseball because I'm a broadcaster. Most people probably don't care. I wonder how Nantz felt about that because somebody's probably in his ear saying, Jim, we got a flag.
Yeah,
and he probably doesn't see it, and then he has to decide split second, am I going to say there's a flag and risk that there isn't, or am I going to not point out there being a flag and then all of a sudden there's a game-changing penalty? And you got to remember, too, I think you and I talked about this on air before. Don't forget, Romo mowed Nance's lawn on the Super Bowl winning call last year, right? Because the Chiefs had the guy in motion to the left, comes back to the right. Was it Hardman? And then as Mahomes rolled out, and you could tell that he's got the pass, and as Nance is calling the play, you could hear Romo going, "There's the Super Bowl." Like, don't do that to your play-by-play guy.
Can't do that.
But Romo's very excitable. All right, we're late getting into a break here. Coob with a sports update as well. It's Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Get to know the winners, props, plays, parlays, and more with Nielsen and Hustler. Weekday mornings at 11 on The Lock Shop. Only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
How do you beat those winter blues? How about a double shot of classic rock? River Cree Resort and Casino and K97 proudly present Helix and Sweet. February 28th, live in the venue. Helix and Sweet. Get your tickets now at rivercreeresort.com.
River Cree Resort and Casino. Excitement. Bet on it.
Celebrating 70 years in the signage industry, William Huff Advertising is the most recognized name in the game. An in-house, one-stop shop for all of your design, print, and installation needs. William Huff provides quality graphic solutions for everyone. Here in our city of champions and throughout the nation, they are the preferred signage partner entrusted by many of the biggest corporations, pro sports teams, and organizations to bring their identity to life. Recognize the name, get in the game. WilliamHuff.com.
Play more tables and games.
Play more tables and games. Make the most of your bad game. Oh, you want to, you need to, you know just what you gotta do. It's time to add some fun to your life. Make the most of your bad game. Play more tables and games.
PlayMoreGames.ca.
Calvin Pickard gets a start for the Oilers against the Kraken tonight. McDavid's returned from suspension, and you can tune in to the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show right here on EST alongside Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas just an hour before puck drop to get you set for the action. Elsewhere, the Red Wings challenge the Kings. Vancouver hits the road in St. Louis. The Devils meet the Flyers in San Jose. Hosts Pittsburgh, with the Pens moving Evgeny Malkin to the injured reserve due to a lower body injury, while in Tampa, Emil Lilleberg has been handed a 2-game suspension for his interference against Detroit's JT Compher on Saturday night. Meanwhile, the Capitals have signed Logan Thompson to a 6-year extension worth a total of just over $35 million. And in Miami, Jimmy Butler has been suspended indefinitely by the Heat for leaving practice this morning. This marks his 3rd suspension of the month handed out by his own team, with Butler expected to miss at least 5 games. And Miami faces Magic tonight, seeing a dozen games around the NBA, which has the Raptors back in action against the Pelicans. I'm Zachary Kubish. That was your sports update. The second hour of the Reid Wilkins Show starts right now.
Oilers host Seattle tonight at 7:30 at Rogers Place. We have coverage with the Oil Stream GCL Diesel pregame show at 6:30. Stuart Skinner missed the morning skate as his wife is giving birth to their second child. And I just see here within the last half hour, Golden Bears hockey, that's the U of A team, by the way, Noah Philp played for them, announcing on their social media that Tyler Palmer from the Golden Bears will back up Calvin Pickard tonight. So he's the E-Bug who's actually going to have to be the backup on the bench because Skinner is not going to be dressed. Now, I haven't seen the Oilers put anything out about this, but it is coming from the Golden Bears hockey account. So according to Golden Bears hockey, Tyler Palmer will be backing up Calvin Pickard tonight. So actually on the bench as a backup. So this is what happened a couple years ago. Skinner was sick and Matt Berlin was on the bench for the entire game. The Oilers were well ahead and they put Berlin in for the last couple of minutes. So let's just keep this in mind, everybody. If it's 6-1, 5-0, 8-3 with 2 minutes left, does McDavid or another player say, hey, let's give this kid an experience as well? And would Knobloch be open to that, like Woodcroft was a couple of years ago? Just something to keep in mind.
Is that viewed as, because Knobloch seems like a little bit more of a rule follower, or I don't know, is that viewed as a slap in the face to the Kraken? Should they be up big late in the game, or would anybody care? They just want to go home.
Yeah.
So they probably...
I don't think so. I mean, if they don't want the other guy to play, don't be way behind late in the game so he can go in there and get a minute. Right?
A bit of a slap in the face
or whatever.
For the Kraken?
Yeah.
Reid, we've
Tentacle to the chin.
We've got so many good off-topic topics coming in.
That was... What's the date today? The 27th?
Yeah.
January 28th, 23 was the Matt Berlin game.
Say it ain't so.
Just something to keep in mind. No, and also you hope that nothing happens to Pickard where Palmer is forced to play, like it or not.
You hope it's just because the game's out of hand.
Right. The off-topic topic for William Huff, because Seattle is named the Kraken, not a real creature, what mythical beast would you name a team after?
Uncle Jesse says the Acme Meats.
Well, that's not a mythical creature. I love you, Uncle Jesse.
Brock Lee said, and Reid, we've been through this. We see a Henway when we see it coming. We've already crossed one off. The Caster Raiders
but again,
done as well.
You're just saying silly names now, everybody.
Now here's
mythical creatures is the assignment.
Here's a good one. Here is the Lloydminster Ligers.
That's a good one. And you can spell Ligers with 2 L's.
Sure. That would be Ligers. Wouldn't it? Ligers?
Well, you'd still say Ligers. I think it's Liger.
Vegreville Vampires.
Oh, I like that one. Yeah.
The Banff Banshee.
Oh, that's pretty good. Yeah.
And Donnie M sends in one. I think you'll really like this. The Two Hills Tribbles.
The Trouble with Tribbles from start. Was that the second episode ever of the original series? It might have been. Mex Bezozu says the Buffalo Babadooks, but they would still have a buffalo in their logo. The Babadooks. That's pretty good. You were getting some good ones here. The Gibbons Gorgons. What is a Gorgon again? A Gorgon. Oh, I think they're kind of like snake women with snake bodies, I think is a Gorgon. I think they have those in the God of War video game.
Well, and JJ says Ligers aren't mythical.
Good point.
Have they not?
I think they have bred a lion and a tiger. They.
Fantastic.
Who's they?
The Master Breeders.
The who?
The Master Breeder Society of the world.
Why are you saying that?
Master Breeders?
Is it?
What'd you think I was saying?
It sounded like you're saying something else.
Oh, really? No.
That's what it sounded. That's what it sounded like to me.
Don't you
It's
put
like,
words in...
why are you saying
I was saying Master Breeders.
Right. I apologize. It sounded like something different to me, and I didn't realize those people had a society.
No, the Gibbons glue guys.
Medusa is a Gorgon. All right. Thank you very much. Oh, my God. Well,
there you go.
This is a DYI show. Portions of this hour presented by Canadian Brewhouse. NHL lives at the Canadian Brewhouse. Every Oilers game day, get $1 off tankers of Molson Canadian and Coors Light. You can win game tickets and 2 tickets to a surf and turf dinner at the end of the season. Full details at thecanadianbrewhouse.com. Any more names or save them for later?
Oh, they keep coming in. We can just we'll get back to it.
We'll get back to it a little bit later on. A few things that we want to touch on here. Oilers, by the way, going up against Seattle tonight. Keep hitting the thumbs up on YouTube. We're on a good pace here. Let's see. I mean, again, if everybody just clicked now, I know some people watching on YouTube have already clicked, but if you haven't clicked, we're already into double word of the day territory. So that's pretty good. The Oilers will have Pickard in net. Tyler Palmer, according to the Golden Bears, is going to be the backup as Stuart Skinner away from the team while he and his wife welcomed their second child into the world. The Oilers are on a 7-game winning streak against the Kraken, 10-2 all-time against the Tentacles. Jordan Eberle remains out for Seattle. Adam Larson, we're going to have to talk about him. He's been an important member of that team. McDavid expected to center Draisaitl and Hyman as he returns from injury. So I want to get to crunching the numbers here for Gallo LLP, Chartered Professional Accountants, where they go beyond the numbers to ensure the continued success of your business. Reach out to Preet or John at Gallo LLP if you'd like to discuss further how they can crunch your numbers and help your business grow. Visit their website, GalloLLP.ca, and how Gallo LLP can help your business grow. Because speaking of Draisaitl, we have a good one?
No. A lot of people heard the same thing you heard, Reid.
Yes, well, I swear that's what you were saying.
It
didn't sound like breeders to me.
My
It did
mom,
not sound
my mom
like-
texted me.
Yeah, it didn't sound like breeders to me.
My mom texted me a sweaty face emoji.
Yeah, it did not sound like breeders. It sounded like baiters.
Well, we
Sorry,
can go
buddy.
back and review the tape.
You're going to have to after the show.
Wow.
Because I was like, where are you going with this?
I don't know. I was just, it came out weird, I guess. But I stand by it.
That there's a master breeders society?
This is
Obviously.
like an anaconda taking down a pig.
Obviously, there's a master breeder
Sure.
organization out there.
I believe in Marvel Comics, that would be the High Evolutionary.
How else did we get ligers?
The Grand Cache Gargoyles. I wondered when someone was going to come in with gargoyles or goblins either. There must be a team called the Goblins somewhere. Minor league baseball, minor league hockey. I can't remember.
Are goblins goblins?
Yeah, they're
mythological?
mythical. Yeah, yes. Goblins are not real.
Not according
Well,
to
maybe on your master breeding farm they are. I don't know.
I maybe that was the movie I watched. They're no longer mythological. We were talking about that. We're getting off course. My
That's fine.
apologies.
Just finish it. You started it. You gotta finish it.
The Rise of the Guardians. That was that movie I showed you
Oh, yeah.
with the Tooth Fairy and Santa Claus and the what's the rabbit with the eggs?
The Easter Bunny?
Yeah, quite freaky in the movie. Actually, he's not soft and cuddly.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, I watched it for the first time. The Grassland Gargoyles. There you go.
That's a good one.
All right, I'll let you get back to
Second
the
clue, by the way, in our Hudson's Canada's Pub mystery athlete of the game is beer. The first clue was cutter. The second word is beer. Somebody will get it now.
beer.
Beer. First clue is cutter, and the second word is beer. All right? As we are crunching the numbers for Gallo LLP, I just want to touch on this because we had, I think we've talked about it a bit on air, and it's come up off air as well, or with sitting in the press box at the rink. And you may remember on Saturday, Leon Draisaitl, like, what if he finishes with 59 goals after missing that empty netter? And that was, I would think, for a player of Draisaitl's caliber, a relatively easy shot. I mean, what was he down the left wing, but not pinned against the boards, not really under pressure.
Yeah.
Shot at the empty net, and he hit the side of the net. And he could have passed it to Hyman earlier in the play, but I don't mind Leon saying to hell with it. I want to win MVP. I don't know if he's thinking I want to win MVP, but I don't have a problem with him trying to score that. The Oilers this year, just kind of off the top of my head from watching the games, I thought to myself, they don't have a lot of empty netters this season. So I looked it up. The Oilers have scored 6 empty net goals this season. That's tied for 24th most in the NHL. The teams that they are tied with, and there's 3 or 4 of them, and then the teams below them are all average or poor teams in the NHL who don't win a lot, and then as a result wouldn't have a lot of chances, as many chances to shoot as an empty net.
Huh.
The leading team for empty net goals is the Colorado Avalanche, and they have 18 of them. So the Oilers have 6.
Jeez.
And as we know, the Oilers, well, now they're back to 4th overall, right? Because Vegas won last night. So anyway, the Oilers are a top 5 team in the NHL. So you would think the teams near the top of the league would have more empty net goals because they're ahead more often late in games and get shots at the empty net to put it away. Last year, the Oilers were tied for 21st in the league with 12 empty net goals. The Winnipeg Jets had 24. Now, I was sorting stuff on the NHL website, and I almost started to think, is this tracked as closely as it should be, especially going back to the 80s? But it does have things going back. The most empty net goals the Oilers have ever scored was 21, which was in the 2021-22 season, so not long ago. Winnipeg had 24 last year. Dallas had 24 empty net goals in 15-16. According to NHL.com, that's tied for the most in league history. Now again, maybe I was thinking, well, in the 80s, but if the games were higher scoring, if you're up 8-3, the other team is probably not pulling the goalie.
So what's the highest team right now? 18?
The Avalanche are at 18, yeah. So they're on pace to break the all-time record, assuming that those records are correct.
Wow. What do you think could be attributed to missing an open net?
I don't know.
That's a weird one. Because if you said that to, hey, you're out with some friends that, having chicken wings one night, and you're like, man, have you guys noticed that the Oilers have been missing a lot of open nets? Everybody that at least is casual fans at least would say, yeah, I have noticed that. But why? Who knows?
Well, yeah, I don't even know who I would ask about this, because if you ask Knobloch, he would probably just be like, what would he say? He's not telling them not to shoot at them.
Well,
the players are they're still getting checked. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird, but there've been some. Wasn't there another game when the Oilers had the puck right around the other team's net and they couldn't? Like McDavid missed one we thought he was going to score on this season, didn't he? And didn't someone have a long shot at an empty net that hit the post? Maybe that was Connors. They're convenient to get, because usually if you score into an empty net, the game's over. And we've seen teams over the last decade or so, I think it was Patrick Waugh with the Avalanche, really sort of increase the length of time. It kind of went from 60 to 90, and then Waugh was like, whatever, 2 or 2.5 minutes. And I don't mind that, quite frankly, especially if it's a game in which you're either being shut out or have only scored once. Why not pull the goalie early? It's like, okay, we haven't scored a single goal in 56 minutes. We might as well give our team the best chance to get 1 in 4 and pull the goalie.
Well, it is interesting because, as Rip City Step says, goalies are now being pulled much earlier. I think probably about 10 years ago, it really started to change. So it's interesting that empty net records is attainable now. You'd think that would be getting higher and higher year over year.
Yeah.
Right? But maybe that'll be my next stats question to NHL Stats. Is what is the average time of a goalie being pulled this year as compared to 5 years ago and year over year?
Because they could probably calculate ice time, but it's not always related to the time of a pull necessarily.
Right.
Because if a goalie is pulled for an extra attacker on a delayed penalty, that comes off his ice time.
Yeah, it would have to be pretty circumstantial.
Yeah. That is a good, but definitely we know that they pull goalies earlier than they used to. I'd even, you're down 3 goals with 7 minutes left, pull the goalie. What if you get 1?
Yeah.
And I know goal differential could be a tiebreaker, but it's pretty unlikely you'd be cost a playoff spot because of goal differential. I'd like to see more coaches even be more aggressive with it. I know it's disappointing and fans get frustrated. Oh, well, we pulled our goalie. We were down 3 goals and we pulled our goalie with 5 minutes left. And the other team won the face-off and shut it down the ice and scored. Stupid to pull the goalie. It's like, guess what? You're probably not winning anyway.
Yeah, who cares?
Do you want to be? You're going to be disappointed leaving the rink. Your coach is saying, well, I'm going to try to at least get something going here.
That's interesting. You'd never know. There's no real answer to that question. Is why? Why is there such a discrepancy between Colorado at the 18, empty net goals and the Oilers, who are the 4th best team in the NHL?
Is it the way the Oilers defend the empty net? Is it face-off? I mean, they have Draisaitl, who's often out there. He's good in face-offs. They have so McKinnon and McDavid are 2 of the fastest players in the league. So you think with an empty net, oh yeah, loose puck, they steal it, skate out to the red line and score. But clearly that's not happening either. Anyway, I just wanted to look it up because I felt from observing the games this year that the Oilers didn't score a lot into empty nets, and now the facts actually back it up.
Maybe they can flip a switch like they can with their physical
Maybe they'll
play.
get 2 tonight. They'll be up 3-2 late and get 2 empty netters.
Just watch.
Get in by 5-2. Mike, the Michigan fan, for a team named after a mythical beast, the Manning Minotaurs. And Koob, that's what you were thinking of? The Minotaur is like a bull with kind of a man's body, sort of?
Yeah, bull head, bull tail, but man body.
Okay.
So
So that's what you were thinking of, not centaurs.
Yeah, I said centaur,
But you meant
that's kind
minotaur.
of a
Okay. Oh, that's cool.
combination of the two.
Both are good.
What's the character on Hercules?
That's a centaur.
Centaur.
That's Newton the centaur.
Yeah, okay.
Are you ready, Herc? Are you ready? McDavid's back tonight. Herc back tonight. Boom. We should do. I should do my own sports update after Coob as Newton.
Oh yeah, sign me up.
All right. The two clues in the Hudson's Canada's Pub mystery athlete of the game are cutter and beer. No one's got it for sure.
There's. Forgive me. I've been looking as best I can. I see a lot
of text
a
today.
lot of guesses, but I mean, I'm reading between that and the Utica Unicorns.
Oh, nice. That'd be. And they could wear horns on their helmets instead of having a logo on the jersey.
And the Dallas Demogorgons.
That's awesome. All right, we got buying or selling next. Everett Fitzhugh, Kraken play-by-play voice is going to join us as well. They're going to adjourn us. We're not adjourned yet. Here comes the coop.
With Stuart Skinner expecting the birth of his second child, Calvin Pickard gets the call in net during McDavid's return to action tonight against the Kraken. And you can join Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas as they tee up the action live at 6:30 during the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show right here and only here on EST. And the NHL sees 4 other games around the league, seeing St. Louis hosting Vancouver, the Devils meeting the Flyers, the Kings matching up against the Red Wings, and the Pens battling the Sharks, having Evgeny Malkin out for some time as he hits the injured reserve due to a lower body injury. In Washington, 27-year-old Logan Thompson and the Capitals have agreed to terms on a 6-year, $35 million extension. Staying out east, the Otters of the OHL have fired head coach Stan Butler after the team underwent an internal review. And down south, Jimmy Butler has been suspended for the 3rd time this month by his own team. And Butler received this new suspension from the Heat this morning after he walked away from a shoot-around during practice and is expected to miss at least 5 games. And entering today, Butler has missed 14 of the Heat's previous 19 games. And on tap tonight, it's Toronto and the Pelicans battling, seeing a dozen games around the NBA. This sports update is brought to you by Windsor Plywood Leduc, locally owned and operated since 1993. They're more than just plywood. They offer everything from doors and flooring to decking, fencing, and custom millwork. With a huge selection of hardwoods and knowledgeable staff, they're here for all your DIY needs. Windsor Plywood Leduc, they're the experts you need to know. Buying or selling brings us back on the other side of the break. Here on the Reid Wilkins Show, I'm Zachary Kubish, and you're on the loop.
Don't feel like working? Join the Hangout. You never know what you might hear. Weekday mornings 9 to 11 on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
Make a fresh start in the new year with Sentinel Storage. With convenient locations near you, Sentinel Storage is here to help you make space for everything 2024 holds. Sentinel Storage. Shop Canadian, store Canadian. Try 4 weeks free. Visit sentinelstorage.ca.
Got some gently used furniture or home goods that need a new home? Find Edmonton is here to help. Every month we furnish over 100 homes to those transitioning out of homelessness, and we need your gently used furniture and home goods. Drop off at 5120 122nd Street or call for free local pickup. Just visit findedmonton.com to learn how your donations can help create a home for someone in need. Plus shop our thrift store, in-store or online, with proceeds benefit those moving out of homelessness through housing supports. Visit us at findedmonton.com. Find Edmonton, supporting our community one home at a time.
The Canadian Ice House is taking your sports experience to a higher level. Trackman golf simulators are now open at the Ice House, an immersive and realistic golfing experience in the heart of downtown Edmonton. Visit in-store or at thecanadianicehouse.com for details.
Get to know the winners. Props, plays, parlays, and more with Nielsen and Hustler. Weekday mornings at 11 on The Lock Shop. Only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
Hope you're having a great Monday afternoon. Always a pleasure to have you joining us here on the Reid Wilkins Show with Jason Milne. If you are texting us this afternoon at 780-218-9999, you are using the afternoon inbox presented by River Cree Resort and Casino, home of the Kitchen Restaurant. All-you-can-eat prime rib buffet for just $49.99 every Sunday from 4 to 10 p.m. You can post your comments in the nasty chat as well on YouTube. Keep flicking the thumbs up if you haven't already, as we are almost at word of the day territory, and we're not even at the halfway point of the show. So do it quick here. And actually, if everybody just did it now, we'd be over 150, which is double word of the day territory, which is, we kind of want that to become a standard here as we keep moving forward. And you can email Reid at edmontonsportstock.com looking for your limericks. Now, Uncle Jesse, I'm going to read yours. I like yours a lot. I like that you take the effort, but I'm going to have a bit of a quibble. Well, Jay will do it for me after I read it.
Boy.
Jay will know what I'm... Did somebody win?
No.
Jay will know what I'm quibbling about, but it's a good limerick. Tonight, McDavid returns to the lineup. Jeff Skinner riding the pine. Yep. Can't come out in the first slacking. What the hell even is a Kraken? Edmonton is itching for a run to the cup.
Very good, Raider Jesse. The third and fourth lines just need to be tightened up.
Those got to be 5-syllable lines, right? Like max.
Reid is a real stickler.
It's pacing, right?
Here's a...
can't be slacking. Don't say can't come out in the first slacking. Just say can't be slacking. What's a Kraken? Edmonton is itching for a run to the cup. They have to be noticeably shorter than lines 1, 2, and 5.
Maybe the word of the day should be brevity.
Yes. It's a type of bread.
You'll like this one from a Bootski. This came in about my mythological beast you would name your home team after, the mighty Arvidsson Arion.
Right.
So Abutsky writes, it's the tale of the Arvidsson Arion, a black horse whose luggage is carry-on. It came here from Greece, evading the police. Now when will you have Don Cherry on?
That's pretty good. And probably never.
Yeah, probably never. And bonus points to go completely off script on the last line. Right? Something that's not even related to the whole limerick.
That one day we read the definition of a limerick is that they're supposed to be funny and often have a completely nonsensical ending.
That's right.
Right.
But thank you. Thank you for sending in the limericks.
Oilers and Seattle tonight at 7:30 at Rogers Place. We will have the Oil Stream GCL Diesel pregame show at 6:30 with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas. We're getting some good ones today.
William Mike Spear, the poet laureate for the Reid Wilkins Show, has chimed in on the River Cree inbox. If you want to chime in, hit us up as you see on the screen, 780-218-9999. Hey guys, if we're naming teams after mythical things, how about we change the name of the Canucks to the Vancouver Intelligent Hockey Fans?
Oh, jeez. That's wow.
I didn't say it.
That is a shot and a half.
William Mike Spear chimed in.
Do we have the old baby sound effect?
I don't know where
we don't know where everything is.
I've gotten
finishing
all
up
these.
the heater.
Yeah. Did Dustin change where everything is on you or something? How do you know where everything is? I've never even looked at that.
It's the smallest little thing. So you just have to do it by feel for the most part. But yeah, Coop's got a good little cradle back there as well that he can feel free to, Coop, whenever you feel the need to interject a soundbite into the show, we give you full reign.
Well, I have been. I don't think I ever asked you guys if I could do that, but my board's a little bit bigger than yours, so you kind of gotta look and read. Hey, listen.
Yeah, baby. Yeah. So Newton was a centaur toot. He was a satyr, I think, or a satyr, S-A-T-Y-R. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, but Toot was the little guy that just played with the pipe. Yeah, and Newton was the centaur with the high-pitched voice that often repeated part of his sentence.
Okay, a satyr is one of a class of lustful, drunken woodland gods. In Greek art, they were represented as a man with a horse's ears and tail.
He was a kid's show, everybody.
Yeah, well, apparently not. He had been getting into the good stuff.
Yeah. All right. So the River Cree inbox, 780-218-9999. Halfway through the show, do you want me to give the third clue for the Hudson's Canada's Pub Mystery Athlete of the Game? You must text your guess. And did somebody get it?
No, we just clipped 130.
130. So much applause.
I wanted to get you on that one.
I can't keep all the adulation straight, everybody. So you're trying to win a $25 GC to Hudson's Canada's Pub. Text only for the guessing. Maximum 3 guesses per phone number. Jay can easily tell how many times you've written in, so don't try to fool us. So the third clue will be 393. So Cutter, beer, and 393 are the clues. Now somebody will get it.
You think so?
Well, if not, somebody will get it after one of the later clues. Well, what a prediction, Reid.
Breaking news.
Somebody will get it at some point. All right, let's do buying or selling. I'm excited for what you're going to say about this. Buying or selling is presented by Damon Bunting, friend of the program, a consistent top-producing realtor in the greater Edmonton area for over 17 years. He and his team would love to help you find that right home or make the move from your current home. Community-driven, he understands what it takes to make a difference in our city. Check him out, DamonBunting.com. Instagram handle is Damon Bunting Real Estate. So first of all, Koob, let's do the clip, the other McDavid clip we didn't use. Let's use that one now, McDavid clip number 2, as he was commented today on the lead-in to that Four Nations face-off tournament.
I feel like how you go into a break is important. We got 6 games here to play well, as you said, to put ourselves in a good position kind of into the break. Home ice is something that we've talked about a lot, that we feel is important in the playoffs, and being as high as you can in the standings is a good thing for that.
All right, so 6 games left for the Oilers before the Four Nations face-off. McDavid will play in it. Alex Pietrangelo of the Vegas Golden Knights will not, because he has an ailment. Mr. Milne, you who have been possibly the biggest proponent of the Four Nations face-off, you were itching for this tournament.
Can't wait.
Do you buy or sell that Mr. Pietrangelo has an ailment?
Sell. I mean, and I'm not surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if this is not the last person to do this. Not just from Team Canada, but from other teams that have players that are going to this fake World Cup, fake Olympic, mini Olympic. I don't know what to call it. This is created by the NHL and the Players Association to make money. It's not even best on best. Brad Marchand's on the stinking team. Old Chokey over there. The worst part about it is that the Vegas Golden Knights announced this, I think it was Sunday afternoon. And then Pietrangelo goes out and plays that night, logged 24 minutes in a 4-1 victory over Florida.
He has something that he would like to rest.
Hey,
he would
that's
not want
fine.
to aggravate further.
And you know what? If I was a Golden Knights fan, I'd be happy with that. I'd be fine with that. Because this tournament I don't even know what we talked about. I don't even know if you get a trophy.
You get money.
Each player gets money. And you know what? If you're chasing the Stanley Cup, you could probably go without it. Now, I will say this about Pietrangelo has been there, done that, right? Wasn't he not a 2-time World Junior player?
Oh, I can't remember. He's pretty good. I'll quickly check his international resume.
Connor McDavid.
Let me check my resume.
Connor McDavid and Nathan McKinnon have not played, for Team Canada together with Sid the Kid. There's a lot of allure, I guess, from their perspective. And, like we've been told before, hockey players are a different breed. This is a chance to put on the Team Canada jersey and represent your country. Kinda. I just don't think this is the last that you'll hear of somebody dropping out. Now, the question of the day is now, who replaces Alex Pietrangelo?
Yes. Well, there was an article on NHL.com.
Thank goodness Bush has been such a defensive liability.
Bush has been listed as a possible... Okay, I'll read the list. This is from who wrote this. It doesn't even say. It just says NHL.com staff. They put a question to a group of NHL.com writers and editors in a Four Nations roundtable. So they're listed alphabetically. Who should replace Pietrangelo? Evan Bouchard, Bowen Byram from the Sabres, Jacob Chychrun from the Capitals, Drew Doughty from the Kings, who's close to returning and would love to play, apparently. I'm going to skip the last name alphabetically and say him at the end. Dougie Hamilton from the Devils, Chris Letang from the Penguins, Brandon Montour from the Kraken, Mackenzie Weegar from the Flames. And is this guy any good? He plays for Florida. They're not on TV a lot. Aaron Ekblad?
He should have been a first ballot on the team to begin with. He should have been one of those ballots that was cast and they just get a...
You would have had him as an ahead-of-time player?
You were ahead of time.
Ahead of a car?
Ahead of anybody. I mean, he's so good. I mean, Oilers fans got to see him up close and personal throughout the Stanley Cup playoffs and especially the finals. That's a bad dude. That's the kind of grit you want on your team, right?
Yeah. Well, we'll see if more of this happens. Did somebody get it? Sweet. Okay, good. I'm actually excited because this one was gettable, and I'm glad we didn't have to give out the next two clues.
I want you to guess who got it, though.
Mike, the Michigan fan.
No.
It was somebody I know?
Well,
Grumpy Cat.
No, he very much so contributes to the show.
Matt Iwanek. The Big Uke.
No.
Bronco Nick.
No, you've met him in here.
Well, I've met a lot of people in here. Norman Combine.
Nope.
Now I'm blanking on people that I've met. X-Ray J.
Nope. The last part of
Rip
his
City
handle.
Step.
The last part of his handle rhymes with Memumu. Or
Mets Bezozu.
Yeah.
I said him.
No, you didn't.
Didn't I?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Hey, you know what? We're going to have to go back in the tape of this whole show now. Because apparently you said Mex Bezozu. Apparently I said a bad word. Although Andrea from Calgary.
That's not a bad word.
And although Andrea from Calgary did clarify, she paused the stream and went back on YouTube and clarified. Because I was thinking in the break, I'm like, did I really? I didn't screw that up, did I? Nope. It's official. I did not say the big bad combination of words. I just, said what I said. So if you heard it wrong, go back and listen to the tape.
Quaddy says Vegas probably setting the groundwork for more LTIR shenanigans. We'll find out in a few weeks. He needs surgery and he'll be out till day one of the playoffs. Well, you never know. But here's the thing. How does the league police this? You can't tell Pietrangelo, no, you don't sound sick enough. Or how do we know? You have to play. They can't do that.
Well, if he continues to play and he plays at a high clip and is playing over 20 minutes a night, that was just not true. He simply wants the break and the time off to rest his body.
Right.
I don't blame him, but that's up for the people that made this debacle of a tournament in the first place.
Well,
the NHL, the NHLPA, you guys figure it out. It's one of yours.
I love how much you despise this tournament that hasn't even happened yet.
Well, if it meant anything other than lining the pockets of superstars and millionaires, I would probably care.
Right.
But it doesn't. Are they going to play competitively? Sure. Yeah, they will. But wait till one player on the Leafs gets injured. Or,
on the Leafs?
Or some. I wouldn't dare say the Oilers.
Oh, okay.
But you know what I mean? Wait till one of your superstars is injured in this useless tournament. Then that'll change the tone. Ain't nobody getting injured in the All-Star game. Because it's not really actually a game.
Right. It's 3-on-3.
That's right.
And they usually vote in a player that shouldn't be there. Not usually, but who was John Scott. I interviewed him about that. He was good to talk to. The Big Uke with a limerick, emailing to read@edmontonsportstalk.com. Many team names created today. KC Chiefs win again. Oh, hooray. Connor's back. Power play attack. When will Tommy get sculpted in clay? That's a good one. That's really good. And by the way, I do look forward to a better Oilers power play tonight. It was good against Vancouver. Not good. Well, they only had one against Buffalo. It wasn't good. And it wasn't great against Washington last Tuesday. Want to remind you as well, we were talking about the Super Bowl matchup. Super Bowl party at Century Casino Fort Road. There'll be a food and drink menu of a bunch of stuff under $10. They'll have prizes every quarter, including tickets to the Elks home opener, jerseys, stuff like that. And $1,000 in prizing total that you can enter to win. They recommend you get reservations here. There's no cost for reservations or admission or anything like that. It is edm.centurysports@cnty.com. edm.centurysports@cnty.com for the Super Bowl party at Century Casino Fort Road. We'll unveil the mystery athlete when we get back.
Sure.
And we'll get to Fired Up as well, some of your texts. We should touch on that Athletic article, too.
Have to.
And we'll keep getting you ready for the Oilers and the Kraken. Seattle play-by-play voice Everett Fitzhugh is going to join us. And keep going with the thumbs up. We are so close to 150 and double Word of the Day territory. Here comes Zachary Kubish, Sports Update.
Connor McDavid returns to the Oilers fresh off his 3-game suspension to take on the Kraken. And you can join Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas as they get you set for the action during the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show live at 6:30 only on EST. And there's 4 other games around the NHL, having the Canucks drop the puck against the Blues, LA and Detroit, Philly hosting New Jersey, and the Penguins butting heads with the Sharks. Meanwhile, in Tampa Bay, Emil Lilleberg has been handed a 2-game suspension for interfering Detroit's JT Comfort on Saturday night. And Logan Thompson has agreed to his 6-year contract extension with the Caps, worth just under $6 million a season, while back in Pittsburgh, Evgeny Malkin hits the injured reserve as he left Saturday's game against the Kraken after absorbing a knee-on-knee collision. Down south, Miami's Jimmy Butler has been suspended indefinitely by his own team after he walked away from practice this morning, and Butler has missed 9 games due to suspensions from the Heat this season, with this newest penalty being a minimum of 5 games for Butler. Around the league, there's 12 total games, including the Raptors meeting the Pelicans. This sports update is brought to you by Find Edmonton. Find takes your unused furniture and home goods to help those moving out of homelessness. Get donations picked up or drop them off free of charge. Find out how you can make an impact at findedmonton.com or call them at 780-988-1717. After a quick break, the boys get into Fired Up for Gemco Fireplaces here on the Reid Wilkins Show. I'm Zachary Kubish, and you're up to date.
If you've been injured in a car collision, let James H. Brown and Associates, Alberta Injury Lawyers, protect your interests. They'll be there every step of the way to help answer your questions and help you get your life back on track. Trust Alberta's precedent-setting injury lawyers with their unrivaled experience, unrivaled results, and unrivaled commitment. When accidents happen, call James H. Brown and Associates, Alberta Injury Lawyers, 780-428-0088, or go to jameshbrown.com.
How do you beat those winter blues? How about a double shot of classic rock? River Cree Resort and Casino and K97 proudly present Helix and Sweet. February 28th, live in the venue. Helix and Sweet. Get your tickets now at rivercreeresort.com.
River Cree Resort and Casino. Excitement. Bet on it.
Tommy Gunn's Barbershop is more than just a barbershop. It's a top-notch, tailor-made experience from check-in to check-out. Get a precision haircut, a classic shave, or a facial to step up your style. Just walk in, relax, and let Tommy Guns take it from there. Find comfort in knowing their team follows the code, which is their commitment to care for you as a customer. Check out Tommy Guns today, in-store or online at TommyGuns.com to bring out the best in you. Tommy Guns, where every cut is done right every time.
Food Sausages makes their meat with nothing but the best local ingredients. From chicken, beef, and pork, their gluten-free sausages are packed with flavor. Every single bite. Get a 10% discount when mentioning Edmonton Sports Talk in-store or use the code EST when shopping online at foodsausages.ca. Plus, you get free delivery on orders of $100 or more. Find them at 6736 99th Street. Food Sausages. You can't beat our meat.
Well, I thought this was Harold Faltermeyer at first. All right.
Yeah, that was a banger, Zach.
Commissioner Quinn in the nasty chat in all caps. Connor explodes for 4 points tonight. You heard it here. Thank you for tuning in, Quinn.
Every degenerate in our listener like us gamblers, we're going to the Cool Bet site right now.
Thanks to Quinn Phillips.
Lock it in. 4 points. Somebody ought to find out. Well, what's that? What's that on Cool Bet? There is.
You can do it.
You could tease it to 4 points. Because I'm gonna ride.
You can give us the thumbs up on YouTube as well, Quinn. I hope you've done it. We're so close to 150, and the show is not even 2/3. We're still late in the second period of the show. What happened now?
Oh, too good. Too good. Our friend Seal sent something in, but
can't say it on air.
It's so good. You'll have to look at it in the break.
Can we say it on air or not?
I don't think so.
Okay. I'll trust you there for sure.
Yeah.
We are in the James H. Brown studio, James H. Brown Personal Injury Law Firm. The heavy hitters of injury law with over 200 years of experience. James H. Brown will get you the settlement you deserve. JamesHBrown.com is the website. You can book your private consultation today. Before we get to Fired Up, let's reveal the Hudson's Canada's Pub mystery athlete of the game. So is it Mex? Mex has won a $25 GC to Hudson's Canada's Pub. The first clue was Cutter, and because this athlete in 2001 was a spokesperson for the golfwear company Cutter and Buck. A lot of people guessed Mariano Rivera. I did say that was going to happen.
Yes.
The next clue was beer. This person has been a spokesperson for the Japanese beer Kirin, Kirin. I'm sure now people are figuring out who it is. 393. Just recently, this person received 393 out of 394 votes.
Shame.
For Hall of Fame. Not unanimous. The fourth clue would have been Yankees. This person played for the Yankees from 2012 to 2014. The fifth clue would have been Oryx, O-R-I-X. This person played for the Oryx Blue Wave from 92 to 2000, then joined the Seattle Mariners. It is Ichiro Suzuki. So it was sort of tied into tonight's game, which I don't always do. Seattle player.
In a roundabout sort of way, it was. You know, the Seattle connection.
Yeah, but I don't always do that. Sometimes it has nothing to do with that night's Oilers game. Sometimes it might have something to do with it, but you don't know exactly what. You got to listen to the clues.
Well, Reid, you got to keep the people on their toes.
I really do.
You do.
Much like Ichiro trying to steal bases.
Woo-wee. JCD says, no way. I knew it, but didn't text in because I thought I was wrong. You should have texted in.
Just text in. You get 3 guesses.
You do.
Did anybody guess Tony Tanti today?
Tube Socks was in the chat earlier, or texting in earlier, and I don't know that he did, but man, there's so many.
Are there still team names coming in?
There's so many. Carstairs Cyclops.
Cyclops.
No,
yeah.
Cyclops. He spelt it Cyclops, like isotopes.
Okay.
Maybe that's a different variety?
Of different type of...
What would be the difference between a Cyclops and a Cyclope?
I think you'd say it's Cyclopes since it's Greek.
A Cyclops is just a monster of a human with one eye.
Yes.
A Cyclope is a one-eyed antelope. Right?
That's incredible. Yes.
I mean,
that's exactly what it would be. All right. Keep giving us the thumbs up on YouTube. Thank you, Quinn, for already contributing your thumb. And thank you as well, Quinn, for the lesson on Instagram. As I put
What happened?
I put up a link that can't be clicked on.
Yes, you've been doing that. You did that.
I've done that 2 or 3 times.
So you have to go in. Over. I can show you. You just have to go and find the link, and then you put the link in. But if you copy paste the link,
I just copied. That's all I thought you needed to do.
But it's great work.
Well, it's okay. I'm learning.
Don't hate the player, hate the system. The Jackfish Lake Jackalope.
I'm surprised it took this long for somebody to say jackalope.
Jackfish Lake is a beautiful little gem just west of the city.
Nice.
Used to be really good fishing there. I wonder if it still is.
What about the what's a B town? Like Bigfoot, Big Feet, the Bigfoot.
That's the name of my brother's cafe.
The Bigfoot Cafe?
Yeah.
Nice. Where's that?
In
that's
Creston.
the one in BC?
In Creston.
Do they have Sasquatch sightings nearby?
They do. Every day in their cafe.
Does the Yeti come in for a coffee?
He likes their fresh homemade pasta.
That's awesome.
If you're ever going through Creston, go say hi to my brother at the Bigfoot Cafe.
Let's get to Fired Up for Gemco. Gemco Fireplaces, proudly serving Edmonton and area for 45 years. And the authorized dealer for Napoleon Fireplaces. Whether it's gas or wood burning, look no further than Canadian-made Napoleon Fireplaces. All the Napoleon products you need are available at Gemco, 9281 50th Street. We only got a few minutes. Why don't we do some texts? And because that article we want to talk about, if we don't get to it today, we could do it on another day.
Sure, we could save it because there's a lot to get into here.
There, and it's It's from the weekend, but it's not as if it's stale after a day or two.
And I'd hate to just pass it by and not use it because I actually
we need
read
to talk about it because I think there are a few different avenues we can explore about that, about sports culture, about younger athletes versus athletes in their 30s nowadays. I think there's a few different ways.
You said you saw this on The Athletic?
Yeah, I think it was published on the 25th, wasn't it?
So maybe a little homework for the listeners. If they want to, we'll bring this up tomorrow. Or we probably won't get to it later, but we'll bring it up tomorrow. It's an article on The Athletic about the kind of the change in team dynamics, right?
Right. That's a good way to put it.
And how that's changed over the years. Guys used to go out for some beers with the boys. Doesn't seem like that's happening as much now in the NHL. Seems like weed with the wee ones?
Let's pop an edible. Let's have an edible and then play some video games. Yeah.
Okay, so these have come in on the River Cree inbox, 780-218-9999. And this will get you fired up for the game. The Golden Knights are the shady... Not this game, in the Four Nations face-off. The Golden Knights are the shadiest organization in the NHL. No way Pietrangelo has anything wrong with him. That comes in from Kevin.
Well, okay, but here's the thing, to play devil's advocate. I get the Stone LTIR thing. They're not the first team to do that. Maybe the Oilers will wind up doing it with Kane. I know people don't like the rule, but that's not breaking a rule.
Nope.
And quite frankly, Pietrangelo is not saying... I just don't see it as shady. Like, he's not saying, I got a broken ankle, but it won't be broken until the day before. Like, he's just saying, I'm not going to play.
Well, and it's not really hurting anything but the extra cash he's going to make off of it, right?
For prize money.
But I would imagine this is a little bit of egg on the face of those people, the selection committee, because you would have had to imagine they would have had talks one-on-one saying, okay, you're in. Barring injury, you're in. Now, this is not barring injury. This is barring an ailment that appears to make him play 24 minutes a game.
See, the point to me about this is I don't think it's about Pietrangelo or the Golden Knights being dishonest or shady. To me, it's about the cachet of the tournament.
True.
And a player is basically saying, I'd sooner be healthy for a Stanley Cup run than play 3 or 4 games and win for Canada.
And you know what? I have no problem with that.
Jay has no problem with it.
Nope. The Golden Knights... Okay, no, I just read that, Jay. I've heard you guys discussing the validity of the Four Nations face-off, and Pietrangelo pulling out solidifies it as a joke. There is no mystique around it. Playing for your country means nothing in a nothing tournament. I think McDavid should be a bit under the weather and take a 2-week break as well. That comes in from Diana.
Well, I mean, we're sort of just... We know that sentiment is out there with you and some of our listeners. Yeah. I don't want to say all of them. But I guess the one thing I would nitpick about that is, how can you say there's no mystique about a tournament that's never happened? Maybe it's going to be the greatest 7 hockey games ever played.
Sure. I would love nothing more than to be proven wrong. That this is the most captivating tournament we've ever seen.
Right.
Canada Cup. World Cup like, right, Reid? You were talking about it today on the Hangout.
I love the 87 Canada Cup was like pinnacle international hockey viewing for me.
I don't know if this message came in from Commissioner Quinn or Merv, like it says here, but I hope McDavid goes full beast mode tonight and gets 4 or 5 points. I feel like Knobloch wants to be him to be unleashed since he is putting him on a line with Draisaitl. That's an interesting point that we didn't really talk about. To talk about the lines was about Skinner being a healthy scratch and, Nuge with, that wasn't the talk about this nuclear option that they're just going.
Yeah, I guess a good point is, why is Nuge not with Podkolzin and Arvidsson?
That's what I said.
Right.
But a lot of people have said, hey, Jay, that line with Janmark and Brown has been doing pretty good.
Right.
So maybe it's not that much.
Maybe you sort of have lines 2 and 3 are equal, which isn't bad.
Henrique is not equal. That's clear to me. He is a step down from RNH. Now, whatever.
That's why I think if Nuge is the center, I think he's the second line, regardless of the wingers.
I just know that there was a time, and we talked about it on this show, as a 1.5 game stretch, very small sample size, but Nuge was centering Podkolzin and Arvidsson, and they were really... That's kind of when Nuge came... off the schneid a bit, because Nuge, 3 goals in 2 games. He's had 7 points in his last 6 games.
Oh, nice.
He's playing very well. He's playing the best over a extended period of time as he has all year.
At least in terms of production.
In terms of offensive production, yeah.
All right, I got some emails to catch up on here. Read at EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Bronco Nick with a limerick. The Oilers seem to be rolling, and we are not watching PBA bowling. The Oilers will win, then we'll grin, then the Canucks fans will be trolling. Ooh, pretty good.
Very good.
I want to get to ones from Les, and Uncle Jesse took another stab at it with a really good second effort there for sure. If you are texting us at 780-218-9999, that is the inbox presented by River Cree Resort and Casino, home of the kitchen restaurant. All you can eat surf and turf for just $59.99 every Friday from 4 to 10 p.m. Very special guest coming up in a few minutes. Everett Fitzhugh, play-by-play voice for the Seattle Kraken. And we're at 150.
Bonus.
So we'll have 2 words of the day, but keep clicking the thumbs. Let's see if we can get to 200. We got a break, then the Coob, then Everett.
Wake up with the Nielsen Show with Dustin Nielsen and Lieutenant Eric. Weekday mornings 6 to 9 on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
Since 1952, William Huff has been the heartbeat of Edmonton's advertising world. From humble beginnings to a citywide powerhouse, we've been the go-to for signage from print to design and installation. Partnering with Edmonton's top sports franchises and major events, we've helped shape the city's global reputation. Our secret? Unmatched customer service, decades of experience, and a passion for excellence we call the William Huff Advantage. Visit us online at williamhuff.com.
You've always known GCL Diesel as the experts in diesel fuel systems, but did you know that GCL is also your source for turbochargers and turbo repair? As a turbo supplier for Garrett, Borg Warner, and Holset, GCL can provide genuine original equipment turbos at wholesale prices. Whether it's diesel, gas, natural gas, or performance, we can provide you with the turbo or custom repair you require. Turbo questions? We've got turbo answers. Visit us in the West End or online at GCLDiesel.com. GCL Diesel, turbochargers, understood.
You want the heavy hitters on your team, both on and off the ice. If you've been injured in a car accident, call the heavy hitters of Injury Law. James H. Brown and Associates, Alberta Injury Lawyers. With over 200 years of combined injury law experience, their precedent-setting lawyers are ready to help. Locally owned and proud Edmonton Oiler fans, James H. Brown and Associates wants to support you with their unrivaled experience, unrivaled results, and unrivaled commitment. When accidents happen, head to jameshbrown.com.
Calvin Pickard gets a start for the Oilers against the Kraken tonight. McDavid's return from suspension, and you can tune into the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show right here on EST alongside Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas just an hour before puck drop to get you set for the action. In just a moment, the Devils meet the Flyers and LA takes on Detroit. Later, San Jose plays Pittsburgh and the Canucks face the Blues. Meanwhile, the Capitals have signed Logan Thompson to a 6-year extension worth a total of just over $35 million. And in Tampa, Emil Lilleberg has been handed a 2-game suspension for his interference call on Detroit's JT Compher Saturday night. In Miami, Jimmy Butler has been suspended indefinitely by the Heat for leaving practice this morning, and this marks his 3rd suspension this month handed out by the Heat, with Butler expected to miss at least 5 games. And 2 games getting underway with the Lakers and Hornets, as well as the Pistons challenging the Cavs before the Raptors get back in action against the Pelicans on a 12-game slate. I'm Zachary Kubish. That was your sports update. The final hour of the Reid Wilkins Show starts right now.
All right, appreciate you tuning in this afternoon. Thanks for clicking those thumbs up. Let's see how high we can get. We are over 150, though, so double word of the day territory before we sign off at 6. At 6:30, Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas will be on the stream for the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show. Oilers hosting the Seattle Kraken at 7:30 at Rogers Place. So I will be heading there for that game. All right, Les has emailed me. I don't know if it's like a little riddle or something. It says, if you have a wallet on your person, a gnome would have a wallet on his blank. I don't know if he's maybe henwaying us. If you have a wallet on your person, a gnome would have a wallet on his blank.
A gnome is like a little garden ornament?
Yeah. I don't know the answer to that.
Ooh, this is controversial.
Unless you'll have to send in the answer. Maybe someone in the nasty chat will know it. So again, if you have a wallet on your person, a gnome would have a wallet on his figure? On his non-person?
No, it's definitely a...
We're missing something.
Yep.
We'll see. All right. We got Everett. Everett Fitzhugh, by the way, Seattle Kraken play-by-play voice on KGR Seattle, is featured in our Voices of the Game segment for Windsor, Plywood, Leduc, locally owned and operated since 1993. We're more than just plywood. We offer everything from doors and flooring to decking, fencing, and custom millwork. With a huge selection of hardwoods and knowledgeable staff, we're here for all your DIY needs. Windsor, Plywood, Leduc, the experts you need to know. Everett, it's Reid. Good to see you. Your first time on my new show. You've always been an absolute gentleman coming on. I'll introduce you to Jay Milne, who's my co-host here on the Reid Wilkins Show. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing well, man. Congratulations on the new show. It's good to see your face now and not just hear your voice. How have you been?
I've been well, and I'm going to tell you something else that this may alarm you tonight. So now I'm no longer with the rights holder broadcaster. So I'm now in the media row right in front of the visiting radio booth. So you're going to see my back of my head the entire game.
Oh, I love it. Actually, you know what? Today, I moved a couple booths down. John Forsman, who's our television announcer, is doing the national Amazon game in St. Louis. So I'm on TV today. We got Mike Benton.
So you're on
the Everett Silvertips.
So you're on the Seattle side of the red line then. Okay.
I am. Yes, I am.
Well, that'll save you from seeing the back of my head. And the very
Oh no, I'm still going to look down and chuck some popcorn at you or something.
Yes, that's what we're here for. Yeah,
yeah.
And feel free to take a couple shots from the backside of Reid, just and tweet them out into the ether so everybody can see the backside of what Everett Fitzhugh gets to see from the broadcast booth. This is the sights and sounds of an NHL game.
Yeah, just because I've moved down doesn't mean you're going to get rid of me. No, we're not done. We're not done.
Everett, thank you for taking time to come on the show here. I just wanted to kick things off because we just had a conference championship weekend in the NFL, and I know you're a Detroit Lions fan, so I just want to know, what was the sting? What did you feel? Did you think this was the year? And everybody in football always talks about windows. Well, the window for winning a championship, for the Bills, for instance, they say it's closing. And what's the window for the Detroit Lions in your opinion?
I think for me, as a Lions fan, as a longtime Lions fan, this was the most frustrating year of my life simply because, number one, the Lions have never gotten remotely this close to being the best team in the NFL, right? You go to the conference championship last year against San Francisco. This season, all of the expectations, the Lions' expectations in the past were maybe a wild card, definitely a 500 finish. That was about it. Never a Super Bowl, never a championship. So I feel like it was this was our year. Every team says that. Every fan base says that. But it felt like our year. And I feel like now with both your coordinators gone, you have a lot of players locked up, which is great. You're not going to have a lot of turnover on your roster. But the coordinators are gone. The league is now on notice. You're not surprising anyone. You're not catching anybody off guard anymore. So the road's going to get tougher. I think this Lions window's got 1, maybe 2 more years left. So you got to start, raising a couple of more banners before that window shuts for the next, hopefully not 50 years.
Yeah. Well, Dustin Nielsen, who is the morning show host and owner of Edmonton Sports Talk, loves the Detroit Lions. A buddy I used to work with in Lloydminster was a big Lions fan. So from that standpoint, I wanted them to do well, but it didn't quite work out. Okay, turning the attention to the Seattle Kraken. Before I ask you the team question, I'm going to ask an individual player question because it was when this guy became an Oiler, it was controversial. And then ever since he's left, it's kind of been like, oh, man, it's too bad he didn't want to stay and went to Seattle. What has Adam Larsson meant to the Seattle Kraken?
Adam Larsson is this team's steadiest defenseman. I think he is this team's best defenseman. And again, he's not going to put up a ton of points for you, but he is always in the right place. He calms things down. Vince Dunn, who was a prolific offensive defenseman, has added a defensive piece to his game. He now is a really good defender because of working with Adam Larsson. Those two have such a very close relationship both on and off the ice. And I think Adam Larsson, as quiet as it's kept since the expansion draft and in the first 3.5 years now of this Kraken franchise, I would put Adam Larsson easily in the top 3, top 5 most important players to this team because of the work that he does, because of how he goes about and carries himself on a daily basis. His Iron Man streak of over 350 some odd games was broken last season due to the birth of his first child. And he hasn't missed a game since missing that one game. So Adam Larsson he means so much to this team. And this team, I don't think, would be where they are without the work of Adam Larsson.
All right. Now, the Kraken have 47 points.
Yeah.
The playoff spot occupied by Calgary now has 55. And I have said for several years, Everett, because, sometimes people say, oh, well, they're a 4-game winning streak away from a playoff spot. And I'm like, no, they aren't. There are 32 games left, but quite frankly, we're at the point of year where making up 8 or 9 points over 32 games, that's tough. Like, how are they feeling, and how is the possible trade deadline approach here for the Kraken?
The next 7 games are going to be crucial for Seattle. They're in the middle of a stretch of 9 of 11 games at home. So there's a one-off in Edmonton today, and then not this coming Saturday, next Saturday, the Kraken are down the road in Calgary before going off to the Four Nations break. And right now, if you can get back to 500, if you can cut that 8-point deficit to 5 to 4, going into the break, I think you're setting yourself up to minimally playing meaningful games in March into April. But I'm with you. This team has been very up and down this season. There really hasn't been able to be a stretch of games where the Kraken can go 8, 9, 10, winning 7, 8, 9 of those games. So I think for Seattle, they have to get a run going. They're 4-2 in their last 6 games, 5-3 in their last 8. And if the Kraken want to make noise, they have to, pick up points against the division. You've got 2 games against Calgary coming up in a week and a half. You win both those games. Now you're down to 4. If you can keep that distance to 8 going into those Calgary games, win each of those Calgary games, get it down to 4 going into the Four Nations break, you put yourself in a good spot. But you're right. The trade deadline, I mean, where this team is going into that break, I think will determine if this team are going to stand pat, if they're going to sell at the deadline. Everyone thinks, there's 2 or 3 names. I'm not going to say it as an official team employee, but I will let you guys read into the potential names who are out there for the Seattle Kraken. It sounds like from what everyone in the media has been saying, a move or 2 will be made, but it depends on what move. It's a matter of what move will be made for this team, but they have to get above 500. They have to string some wins together here over this next week and a half.
Everett, as you can see, I mean, this is the voices of the game. We like to have people from around the professional ranks and that do this for a living come on and talk about their story. I want to know a specific detail here. What do you remember about the day that you were told you were going to be hired to be the voice of the Seattle Kraken?
I remember every single thing about that day. My fiance at the time, now my wife, we were sitting in our apartment in Cincinnati. It was smack dab in the middle of COVID. I think we had just gotten back from a walk because I'd gone through a 2.5, 3 month interview process. I was told that they were going to call me a week ago, and now we're sitting on 4 days later, 5 days later. And I'm thinking, oh man, all right, well, it didn't work out. I have to calm my nerves. I missed 2 calls that day, and they ended up being spam calls. My mom called me right before my future boss called me, and I said, hey, Mom, love you. I got to let you go. I'm expecting a very important phone call. And I kid you not 5 minutes later, my Katie, who is the director of marketing for the Seattle Kraken, called and said, hey, I know it's been a while. I've been meaning to get back to you. How would you like to join our organization? And it was the happiest day of my life until my wedding, and then it became the second happiest day of my life.
Good answer.
But I remember sitting there, I was laughing, I was crying, I was jumping up and down. I'd wanted to be an NHL broadcaster since I was a 17-year-old freshman in college, and to be able to see 5 years in the ECHL, 2.5 years in the USHL, 3 years in college hockey, working my way up that ladder, finally pay off into the National Hockey League. I mean, every single emotion that you can imagine came pouring out in that early afternoon, July 14th day.
Remembers the date. That's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Everett, I love talking to you. Hopefully you don't mind if we bug you again later on in the season. But always love talking to you. I'll see you at the rink tonight, probably in about an hour and a half or so. And I look forward to, I know you'll be working, but hopefully a quick handshake and a chat there too.
Absolutely. Reid, Jay, thanks for your time, man. Always a pleasure, fellas.
Right on. That is Everett Fitzhugh checking in, play-by-play voice on TV tonight for the Kraken, as he was saying, usually on KGR Radio out of Seattle. Voices of the game for Windsor, Plywood, Leduc. Locally owned and operated since 1993. More than just plywood, we offer everything from doors and flooring to decking, fencing, and custom millwork with a huge selection of hardwoods and knowledgeable staff. We're here for all your DIY needs. Windsor, Plywood, Leduc, the experts you need to know. Great guy. Liked the Oilers growing up as well in Detroit, oddly enough. So fun guy to talk to. Very deserving of what he's doing there with Seattle.
Awesome.
Great guest on the talk show.
Love it. It's just so awesome meeting and finding out these stories of these people that have put their lives on hold to get to the pinnacle of their career, which is calling the game on a professional level. And that's fantastic. Another solid voice.
Yeah, no kidding.
There's great pipes on Everett.
The Kraken expected to go this way. Beniers with Schwartz and Kakko. Stevenson between Burakovsky and Bjorkstrand. Wright with McCann and Tolvanen. Stevens between Tanev and Hayden. Dunn with Larson. That's a really good pairing. Evans with Montour. Alexiak with Mahura. Joey Decord, who has decent numbers this season. .917 save percentage. Expected to start in net. Jordan Everly, by the way, is out with a pelvis injury. Oilers line up once again. McDavid between Draisaitl and Hyman. Henrique with Podkolzin and Arvidsson. Nuge centers Janmark and Brown. Philp with Perry and Kapanen. So Jeff Skinner is scratched. Ekholm with Bouchard. Nurse with Stetcher, though Nurse missed the morning skate with an illness, but he is going to play. Kulak with Emberson. Pickard in net. Tyler Palmer from the U of A Golden Bears has been signed to an amateur tryout contract. He will be the backup tonight. So if you're the E-Bug, which Palmer has been in other games this year, you go down if needed. But he actually has to dress and be put on the roster tonight, so they signed the guys to an amateur tryout for one game. So Tyler Palmer from the Golden Bears will be the backup to Calvin Pickard, as Skinner is with his wife.
There must be a relationship or an understanding with Canada West or U Sports for situations like this, that it doesn't derail or have any consequences to your eligibility.
No, yeah.
Right?
Right.
Because that would, and I'm glad that there isn't any, red tape,
I think
so to
a Nate
speak.
goalie has been a backup on other occasions. So, yeah, but who knows? Are the Oilers going to be up big late?
Well,
and they put them in.
The Oilers are 10-2 all time versus the Kraken. The Kraken, although they're 5-3-0 in their last 8, this team, of their 22 wins this season, only 6 of them have come against teams that are in the playoffs.
Oh, really? That's good research.
So
buddy.
This is a team that is prime for the picking for the Oilers. They've got a hungry dog in Connor McDavid coming back into the lineup tonight, going nuclear with Draisaitl, who, by the way, against the Kraken, 25 points in 12 career games.
Not bad.
Not bad at all. So, you'd like to see fireworks. We didn't really talk about the Buffalo game that much because it did happen on the Saturday, but that was an interesting game. That was a little bit more of a nail-biter than I think
Buffalo
most would
Buffalo
suspect.
played well, and I thought the Oilers were off. I thought Buffalo skated better and played with more tempo, especially after the first 10 minutes. And Stuart Skinner was very busy and very good.
Well, it would be nice to see a bit of a rebound from an Oilers team that seemingly played down to the competition against Buffalo. Rebound and put the pedal down tonight.
Okay, so Les says that was not a riddle. He was hoping that somebody creative would come up with an equivalent word, though the best answer I saw was from Mex Bezozu. This is his show today. So Mex says it should be, if you have a wallet on your person, a gnome would have a wallet on his unknown.
Little play on words there.
Play on words. All right. Norman the Combine says, at what point do you pull him if losing tonight, or does Pickard stay in the entire night? I do not think Pickard would be pulled if it's a blowout. I think in that case he sucks it up and plays. I don't think.
Interesting. We didn't think about it the opposite way. We considered maybe the transition from Pickard.
If you're down 4-0 after the first period and Pickard has let in 4 goals on 7 shots, or the team's not playing well in front of him, you're not putting in the U of A goalie in that situation.
No.
For 2/3 of the game. Okay, Uncle Jesse has taken another crack at a limerick, and he's done a good job. The Kraken we look to thump, the Oilers get a McDavid bump. Ebb has hands, Klingberg's visa expands. Tommy claims he has a hockey rump.
Yes.
That is very good.
That is much improved. It's just the simplicity of those third and fourth lines that really took it over the top.
Speaking of what's going on with Klingberg, he wasn't away today to take care of some immigration stuff. Can we get to the Coop? Can you do it now? The Knobloch. I'm sorry I didn't give you a heads up, but it fits in well here. Here's Knobloch about when Klingberg might play a game for the Oilers.
Potentially this week. We have 2 more practice days before we play on Thursday. We'll see how those 2 go, but rough estimate was sometime this week, and if we have to push it back to the following week when we're going on the road playing back-to-back, maybe that's the time that he plays also.
So he could play in any one of the next 5 games after tonight.
I'm still holding still with my original thought was that he'd play Saturday when the Leafs come
Against
to town.
The Leafs would be his first one?
Yeah.
Portions of this hour presented by Canadian Brewhouse. Wing Wednesdays, unbeatable at the CBH, only 69 cents each, and a mountain of flavors to savor. Flavor of the month in January, passion fruit habanero. Do that wing thing every Wednesday at the Canadian Brewhouse. We have my top 3. We have our game of the night. We have more from you, whether you're texting the River Tree inbox at 780-218-9999 or in the nasty chat on YouTube. Keep hitting the thumbs up. Let's see if we can get to 200. We have easily surpassed 150. So we'll have a double word of the day coming up as well.
Hey, I'm not afraid to go into triple bonus. There, I said it.
It's time for triple bonus. Here comes the Coop.
With Stuart Skinner expecting the birth of his second child, Calvin Pickard gets a start in net during McDavid's return to action against the Kraken, and Golden Bears men's hockey goaltender Tyler Palmer serves as a backup. You can get set for the action alongside Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas on the GCL Diesel Oil Stream free game show. Tune in right here on EST for the show at 6:30. And right now the Devils are battling the Flyers. The Kings and Red Wings are playing, seeing both games scoreless midway through the first. And later the Blues meet the Canucks, and the Pens drop the puck against the Sharks. While in Washington, 27-year-old Logan Thompson and the Capitals have agreed to terms on a 6-year, $35 million extension. Staying out east, the Otters of the OHL have fired head coach Stan Butler after the team underwent an internal review. And down south, Jimmy Butler has been suspended for the 3rd time this month by his own team. Butler received the new suspension from the Heat after he walked away from a shoot-around earlier this morning and is expected to miss at least 5 games. on the court right now. The Lakers are up 17-4 on the Hornets midway through the first quarter, while the Pistons trail 12-10 against the Cavs in the first as well. Later, Toronto and the Pelicans tip off, seeing a dozen games around the league. This sports update is brought to you by Advantage Sports Medicine and Physiotherapy. Get treated like a pro with their highly skilled crew. Whether you're recovering from an injury or looking to enhance your performance, Advantage Sports Medicine and Physiotherapy uses the same locker room approach that's trusted by the best in the game. Find them online at AdvantageSportMed.ca. The Reid Wilkins Show returns on the other side of the break. I'm Zachary Kubish for your sports update.
Make a fresh start in the new year with Sentinel Storage. With convenient locations near you, Sentinel Storage is here to help you make space for everything 2024 holds. Sentinel Storage. Shop Canadian, store Canadian. Try 4 weeks free. Visit sentinelstorage.ca.
Hey Edmonton, ready to take advantage of lower rates and better pricing? South Fort Chevrolet in Fort Saskatchewan has you covered. From rugged trucks to sleek SUVs. And with over 40 years in business, you can trust that you're getting the best deal on your new ride. As the proud title sponsor of The Nielsen Show, EST listeners can drive a little to save a lot with South Fort Chevrolet's transparent pricing and down-to-earth sales team. Visit us today in Fort Saskatchewan or online at southfortchev.com.
Looking for quality building materials and friendly advice? Visit us at Windsor Plywood Leduc, family owned and locally run since 1993. From interior materials for doors, flooring, baseboards, and all the finishing touches to all you need for your outdoor projects like cedar lumber for decks and fences, plus all the plywood you'd need. Our full-time on-staff carpenter can help with anything odd-sized or custom, and from domestic hardwoods to exotic selections, we've got you covered. And if we don't have it, we'll track it down for you. Windsor Plywood Leduc. We're the experts you need to know.
Hockey lives at the Canadian Brew House. Every Oilers game day, get $1 off tankards of Molson Canadian and Coors Light. Plus, you can win game tickets and a surf and turf dinner for two at the end of the season. Full details at thecanadianbrewhouse.com.
How do you beat those winter blues? How about a double shot of classic rock? River Cree Resort and Casino and K97 proudly present Helix and Sweet. February 28th, live in the venue. Helix and Sweet. Get your tickets now at rivercreeresort.com.
River Cree Resort and Casino. Excitement. Bet on it.
Connor McDavid returns from his 3-game suspension tonight at Rogers Place as your Edmonton Oilers host the Seattle Kraken. Oilers have won the last 7 meetings between these two teams, so they'll try to keep rolling tonight, as we were talking about with Everett Fitzhugh from the Kraken play-by-play chair. They are in a hunt for a playoff spot, but they got to get going. They're 3 games under 500, 8 points out of the playoffs. As Jay was saying, we're almost into the final third of the season.
And Norm in a combine asks, is this a must-win game or a can't lose?
Oh, my God.
And I say it's neither. It's a gotta have it. It's a gotta have it.
We should come up with all the lists of things
we can
that
rank
it can be.
them.
Yeah.
Gotta have it.
Gotta have it. You'd like to win it. Can't lose it. It's a must-win.
Reid's favorite. Aside from the afternoon debate presented by the Edmonton Garrison Golf Curling Club. That's his all-time favorite.
That's my all-time favorite ever.
Yeah.
That is pretty good.
Not bad.
We have our game of the night for Play More Tables and Games.
Play more tables and games.
Like, he sounds like he either has a horrible throat infection or something, or he hasn't spoken in 8 years.
Play more tables and games.
It's as if he was living in the wilderness, and it was like lost somehow, and had to live off bark and berries. And then he got found. It's like, Dustin, you're still alive.
Play more tables and games.
Where do you want to go now that you're going back to civilization? He hasn't spoken in... Like, at first, he would talk to himself or talk to the animals.
Yes.
And then eventually he just stopped.
Yeah. Yeah.
So maybe it was 8 years in the wilderness, but about 5 without speaking.
Right. This is the first words out of his mouth.
Play more tables and games.
I believe that's his falsetto.
Play more tables and games.
From ping pong and pool tables to darts and dome hockey, plus all the classic arcade action you could ask for, visit Canada's Game Room experts, locations in Edmonton and Calgary, or online at playmoregames.ca. Dustin Nielsen, good guy.
Play more tables and games.
He loves. They have so many sound bites they drop into their show.
Yeah,
I don't know where they store them.
We're just
all.
at the start of the creativity here of really ramping things up, and then I've got to also find a way to get them all on my computer and hook it up like he does, and we'll really get wiry. Coob, you know what my game of the night is, everybody? It's time for
TMRW Golf League Update.
So right now, it is the Boston Common versus Jupiter.
I like that they call them the Boston Common. That's pretty funny.
It is a good name. Jupiter is comprised of Tiger, Kevin Kisner, the Kiz, and Tom Kim.
What's the Jupiter team name?
Jupiter.
The Jupiter Saturns?
You know what, Reed? I don't even know.
The Jupiter Gaseous Giants? That's what they should be. Isn't Jupiter a gas planet?
Just a Jupiter Lynx GC.
Oh, LINKS?
Yeah.
Jupiter Lynx Golf Club?
Yeah.
Because that's where a lot of the pros live, is Jupiter Beach, Florida, right?
Speaking of Jupiter, I saw Jupiter on the weekend with my own eyes, with the naked eye. Yeah, it was like a weird, the planets were aligned. You could see Mars. You could see Mars clearly in the sky. It was like, and it was a reddish color. It's crazy. We took out this app and you hold it up and you can see which planets are which.
Oh, neat. That's good.
So I saw Jupiter. I was practically there.
You were pretty much on Jupiter.
I was pretty much on Jupiter. They just tied this hole. It would appear as though the Boston Common is currently up 1-0.
All right.
This has been Coob, the
TMRW Golf League Update.
Okay. My game of the night, besides Oilers Kraken, I'm going to go with Kings Red Wings, which is underway. I don't know if we have a score on that yet or not. The Red Wings are here on Thursday. They have been doing much better under Todd McClellan, but they are still 4 points out of a playoff spot, so they still need to rally here. And I'll go with the Kings just because if the playoffs started today, that would be the Oilers' first-round opponent. But no, the Pacific Division, I'll give the Pacific Division standings in terms of points percentage. Edmonton first, 663. Vegas second, 660. LA third, 630. But of course, in terms of points, Vegas does have one more than Edmonton, 66-65, with the Kings coming in at 58. So I'll make. Do we have a score in that game yet, Coop? Not yet.
Scoreless.
Scoreless. The score is 0-0. So my game of the night will be the rhyming matchup of Kings at Wings at Little Caesars Arena. And then we have Kraken Oilers 7:30. Oh, the Prime game, by the way, it's Canucks Blues, is it not? The Amazon Prime game? Prime Video?
Yes.
The Oilers' next Prime game is right at the end of the year. I think April 14th against the Los Angeles Kings.
Yeah. I don't know.
What do you mean, yeah?
I don't like where this is heading. I don't like where it's only available on this stream. Like the NFL does that a lot, but here in Canada, because TSN has the rights for the NFL in Canada, they still show the games on TSN. Whereas this is strictly Prime, no matter where you are.
All right. Thanks for texting me show ideas.
It just came up.
We're 4 feet apart during the show.
Sometimes it just something so good comes in.
I thought of something. Where's Reid? Oh, he's right here. I can't tell him he's talking. I'll text. All right. What was that?
I think that was Yoda.
Do or do not. There is no try.
It's a good point, Yoda.
It's a great point.
Thanks for the advice. By the way, stand up straight.
Sorry, just before this comes in in from I am Jack Bauer in the nasty chat.
Oh, yeah, I wanted to read that one. I am Jack Bauer from 24.
How big is the beard going to get?
Not much bigger. I've tried to keep it. It was a little bushier than this. I kind of am trimming it on the sides, and I might do a little more trimming around here. I'll probably keep it until April-ish, sometime in April. I am enjoying having it. I haven't had a beard for. Oh, trust me, I've had a beer recently. I haven't had a beard for probably a few years. I think maybe 2020, 2021, because I think it was when COVID was going on.
But you know that there's an end in sight? You know that there's a timeline on this beard? Like April?
Yeah, once the weather improves, I don't think I want to have it in the spring and the summer.
Don't need that heat.
But then if I want to, I can just grow it back.
Apparently you can. Have you considered taking it off in stages? So,
like
for
having
instance,
half of it on my face?
No, not the symmetrical style. But for instance, okay, you start with just taking your jowls off. So you still have the Fu Manchu and the goatee, but you have chops.
I have not considered
sideburns.
that. Well, my dad has sideburns.
I know.
You've met my dad.
I know he does. So I think in honor of your dad, I think you should follow that up.
I've never thought of how that would look. Or
I
if
would like to
want
see.
do that.
I think this would be your closest chance to becoming a real life Wolverine or Wolfman or
Matt Hyman just wrote Wolverine in the nasty chat.
Yeah, I'd say embrace it. I think you could pull it off. You've got enough depth there. And
I feel as if though it's kind of stopped growing a little bit. I don't know. I don't know if we would get much fuller than this. And it's so white, eh? Like it's shockingly white.
That's fine.
I'm like Snow White.
Kinda.
A lot of parallels between Snow White and me.
Do you know there's a real Snow White coming out?
Live action, do you mean?
Yeah.
There's a real a show with actors, not animated.
Live
Who's
action.
playing Snow White? Let me guess. John Cena.
I have no
Cena,
idea.
Sorry.
No clue.
Sexy 5 Cents. I said trim those sideburns, Wilkins. Sideburns, Wilkins. Box Pounder says go full ZZ Top. So on the weekend, for some reason, I fell down the YouTube rabbit hole.
Uh-oh.
And I stumbled across ZZ Top performing Legs from this past summer. Now, they have a different drummer, right? Because I think the drummer passed away. And the one guy looked a bit like a cadaver. I mean, they still have the long beards, but he was so pale. And you could tell they were playing, but his mouth was hardly moving. I was like, is he singing or are they just playing the music? I don't know.
You want to go down a rabbit hole of cadavers on stage? Look up Frankie Valli singing.
Oh, really? The
It's bad.
Four Seasons guy?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's bad. They keep strutting this guy up there, and it's
You know, we were talking about misheard things. You thought wind chill was windshield.
Yes. You'll never let me forget it.
But I won't. When I was younger, so ZZ Top has that song "Sharp Dressed Man." At first, I thought they were saying "Stardust Man," which kind of would still make sense-ish. Girls go crazy about a Stardust Man. Why wouldn't you? He's Stardust.
Why not? Makes sense.
All right. McDavid is back tonight. He'll be on a line with McDavid and Hyman. Or pardon me, McDavid will be on a line with Draisaitl and Hyman, at least based off the morning skate. Calvin Pickard in net. Stuart Skinner with his wife as they welcome their second child into the world. So Tyler Palmer from the U of A has been signed to an amateur tryout deal to be the Oilers' backup tonight. A lot of complaining about the reffing, at least the one spot that cost Buffalo possession of the ball late in the AFC Championship game. And as we know, there are some people who think the Chiefs get favorable calls from the refs. I don't believe that, but we're going to have some fun with conspiracy theories. It's my top 3 sports conspiracy theories. All right? Top 3 presented by Food Sausage, the best sausages you will ever eat. Locally made, packed full of flavor. Order online or visit them in store, 6736 99th Street. Take advantage of their EST discount. 10% off your order by entering the online code EST or mention Edmonton Sports Talk in store. As Food Sausage says, you can't beat our meat. So your suggestions for this are welcome as well. It's our top 3 sports conspiracy theories. I have to go to 1985 NBA draft, the frozen envelope. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I believe I do, but it's worth mentioning for sure.
Commissioner David Stern actually drew a bunch of envelopes out of the drum to see who would win the draft lottery and get to pick Patrick Ewing. So there were 7 envelopes in the hopper. So everybody had an equal chance. And this was like this weird, they just had like a guy draw it as opposed to lottery balls or something automated. So the Knicks got Patrick Ewing. So the conspiracy theory is that the league or Stern himself wanted New York to get Ewing. And then the conspiracy is that one of the envelope containing the Knicks was frozen. So Stern reaches in. Oh, that's the cold one. I'm going to pull this one out.
Yeah, that's a real stretch. I mean,
yeah, I don't think any of these are true, by the way.
How cold can an envelope get? You know, to suggest that you would quickly recognize it by just, you know, pushing and moving your hand around.
Right.
Yeah, I love a good theory, you know.
Oh, I was wrong. Thank you, Abutski. My mistake. ZZ Top drummer Frank Beard is still in the band with no beard. Yeah, Frank Beard's the guy that didn't have a beard. Bass player Dusty Hill was the one that passed away. Thank you, Abutski. Huge mistake. There's my goof up for the day. I had the wrong member of ZZ Top having departed.
It happens.
True. Do you want to do one now, or do you want me to do another one?
Well, I don't want to take any of yours.
Okay. Well, I'll do another one, and then we can take a time out. Keep giving us the thumbs up on YouTube, by the way. Pretty good total today. But let's see if we can get to 200 before we go. My other top 3 sports conspiracy theory is that Gary Bettman hates the Oilers. Now, a buddy, first of all, I should read portions of this exchange because it started with the Chiefs stuff, okay? So the Chiefs win the AFC Championship, and one of my best friends, longtime friend, texts me and says, it's like watching a horror movie that you know how it's going to end. And I said, I don't get the Chiefs' hatred. Great QB, great coaching. He says, Mahomes' sideline flops and victory position tap dances have soured me on him. He's talented enough to not have to play like a douche. And then he went on to say, you know, the Bills were outcoached. And then he said, I don't hate Mahomes. I just don't like poor sportsmanship. I said, you are going full curmudgeon, LOL, which he laughed at. And then I said, I'm going to read this exchange on my show. And then he said, where is it now? This is further down. My dad believes there's a conspiracy among NHL officials to not give the Oilers too many power plays. He thinks Gary Bettman is behind it. So my second top 3 conspiracy theories in sports is that Gary Bettman hates the Oilers. I always say this, and you know, I get, well, no Canadian team has won the Stanley Cup since early in his tenure, and you know, the Canadian teams have moved. Well, the Oilers didn't move, quite frankly. Gary Bettman has fought for the Oilers. Gary Bettman fought to get Rogers Place constructed. And if Gary Bettman was really out to get the Oilers and was willing to rig things behind the scenes, he would have rigged that draft lottery so McDavid didn't come up as going to Edmonton. So, no, I don't think there's much evidence that Gary Bettman is out to get the Oilers.
I disagree. What was your friend's, let's give him a name. Just for
AJ.
I think AJ might be onto something because this goes back, and this stems from actually one of my sports conspiracies, Reid. Back in 1988. Something happened here in Edmonton. Greatest player to ever play the game was traded from Edmonton to LA, and that trade was mandated by Gary Bettman and the NHL.
He wasn't even commissioner.
Yes, he was. It was mandated.
Bettman was not the commissioner in 1988.
Well, Reid, this is totally foiling my conspiracy against Bettman.
Well, you could say
for
that there was a
AJ's sake.
Conspiracy for it, but
it was 100% mandated by the NHL to grow the game in southwest U.S., where the stars are. Take the biggest star in hockey and send them there. It's actually funny when you think about it, like with a real tinfoil hat on. Like, maybe there is something to that.
John Ziegler was still the president of the NHL, it was called. Bettman took over in February of 93. But regard that aside,
regardless, Bettman was still behind it.
With the NBA at the time. Yeah. Bettman was still behind it. We'll finish our list in a couple minutes, and we'll get to the word of the day. If you are texting us at 780-218-9999, you are using the River Cree Resort and Casino inbox featuring Italia Restaurant, home of the $6.99 brunch special from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Sundays. Here comes the Coop.
It's Oilers Kraken with McDavid returning from his 3-game suspension. Kelvin Pickard gets the start, and Tyler Palmer of the Golden Bears backs him up with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas teeing up the action during the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show. Live at 6:30, only on EST. Right now it's the Flyers up 2-0 on the Devils midway through the first, while the Detroit Red Wings trail LA's 1-0 near the end of 20. Later, the Canucks challenge the Blues, and the Pens face the Sharks. And Logan Thompson has agreed to his 6-year contract extension with the Capsters, worth just under $6 million a season. For the Lightning, Emil Lillenberg has been suspended for his interference on JT Compher Saturday night, while in the NBA, the Lakers are stomping the Hornets 39-19, exiting the first, while the Cavs are up 26-23 on the Pistons, entering the second. After that, Toronto meets New Orleans, while Miami's Jimmy Butler has been suspended indefinitely by his own team after he walked away from practice this morning. Butler has missed 9 games this season due to suspensions from the Heat, with his newest penalty being a minimum of 5 games. I'm Zachary Kubish. For your sports update, the Reid Wilkins Show returns after the break.
Get to know the winners, props, plays, parlays, and more with Nielsen and Hustler. Weekday mornings at 11 on The Lock Shop. Only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
Edmonton Sports Talk delivers a mass audience of key, influential customers to your business, all while you associate your company brand with the biggest names, the hottest sports news, and teams from every league around the globe. Oilers and Elks, NHL, NFL, Major League Baseball, and the association, Formula One, soccer, golf, oh sweet mama! The excitement is palatable on Edmonton Sports Talk. It's where fans go to get their sports fix and where our partners find the most loyal consumers. Contact us today and see how our team on Edmonton Sports Talk can score the biggest goals for your business. With various advertising options available, email business@edmontonsportstalk.com or head to our website and send a message at edmontonsportstalk.com.
Looking for a winning strategy for your retirement? Contact me, Joaquin Gage at K4 Financial, where expertise meets dedication. I will always look for a careful approach to your retirement, ensuring your financial future is secure. From tailored strategies to clear, actionable advice, I'm here to guide you every step of the way. Don't leave your future to chance. Get in touch with me, Joaquin Gage, today at k4financial.ca or email joaquin.gage@k4financial.ca to start planning for a brighter future and a more secure retirement.
Food Sausages makes their meat with nothing but the best local ingredients. From chicken, beef, and pork, their gluten-free sausages are packed with flavor. Every single bite. Get a 10% discount when mentioning Edmonton Sports Talk in-store or use the code EST when shopping online at foodsausages.ca. Plus, you get free delivery on orders of $100 or more. Find them at 6736 99th Street. Food Sausages. You can't beat our meat.
All right, good to have you tuning in this afternoon at 6:30. Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas will take over the stream with the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show leading into the 7:30 game between the Oilers and the Kraken at Rogers Place. McDavid is back. Pickard in net. U of A goaltender Tyler Palmer will be the backup goaltender as Skinner with his wife, who is having a baby. Maybe has already had a baby. I don't think the Oilers have announced anything. And then they'll be on after the game with the Oil Stream post-game show. Jay and I are in the James H. Brown studio. James H. Brown, personal injury law firm, the heavy hitters of injury law. With over 200 years of experience, James H. Brown will get you the settlement you deserve. JamesHBrown.com. Book your private consultation today. We're in the middle of the top 3 for food sausage. Top 3 sports conspiracies. My third and final one, well, I'll go back to basketball and something involving David Stern, that the Michael Jordan retirement after 1993 was actually a suspension by the NBA for gambling. That he wasn't actually retiring. He got a 1 2/3 year suspension for gambling.
See, but that doesn't even make sense.
No, it doesn't. Because if they wanted to stop players from gambling, they would say, we're suspending the highest profile player in the game for a 1 2/3 years.
They'd love nothing more than to make a point of it.
Right. So,
and it wasn't like he was sports gambling. He was just casino gambling, from what I understood.
Yeah, I think so.
So
Yeah,
totally.
allegedly. Rick Riley, when he was at his peak, I think it was him, when he was at his peak for Sports Illustrated, had something along the lines of, I'm not saying Michael Jordan gambles a lot, but he yells blackjack every time he scores his 21st point of the game.
That's good. I also had thought about the Jordan one. This one here, Reid, captivating. After the 1994 MLB strike, owners, players, and league execs conspired to ignore the growth of steroids in the MLB in an effort to save the game.
There could be something to that. Out of the 5 we've mentioned between the two of us, that one's the most believable.
Well, weren't there members of the press that would see things and it was like kind of the unwritten rule to not mention it?
But I believe they saw something in McGuire's locker that was allowed when they saw it.
Okay.
But then later was banned. It might have been something like that.
But it's funny how they this is just my 2-minute take on it, but they I guess crucified Mark McGuire, Sammy Sosa, Barry Bonds.
Yeah.
But by all accounts, now looking at this 30 years later, this was rampant throughout the league.
Yeah, and
the pitchers that were pitching to the juiced up hitters were also juiced.
And that was the original thing. Well, pitchers won't use it because it's too bulky and then they're not flexible. And then you found out, well, no, they were using it. And it was, I used to be really judgmental about steroid use. I'm less so as I've gotten older. I still don't like it or think it's great. But
as a performance enhancer.
As players who used it to help return from injury.
Sure.
I had a little bit of sympathy, and I know they're millionaires, but if you're faced with maybe the end of your career or, well, I can't be ready in spring training, I got to be ready for the playoffs. I'm not saying I justify it, but there are certain approaches to it. I have but like what Bonds did, I have no sympathy for. Like he just went crazy with it.
Well, I mean, that article from The Athletic highlighted that the use of marijuana as a medicinal purpose has exploded, especially I think there's only 2 teams in the NHL in the state in which they play. It's not legalized.
Let me guess. Utah is that Utah one of them?
I don't have the article here.
Okay.
Was it Nashville?
Oh, maybe. I don't know. I don't remember that part of it. We'll talk more about that.
We'll talk
later
about
in
it
the week, though.
Yeah, for sure. It's it's a good discussion point.
Do you have another conspiracy?
No.
Okay. So that was for Food Sausage, our top 3 sports conspiracy theories. And I do not believe that there's a conspiracy theory to help the Chiefs. There may have been bad calls that have helped the Chiefs. I don't believe there is a conspiracy supported by the league or a movement supported by the league to help the Chiefs.
I just don't see that there is I don't know what there is to gain. Right? Kansas City's in the middle of nowhere.
Why that team? Yeah.
It's not really
Yeah.
Is it the Swift effect?
Well,
but even then, still.
Yeah.
I don't know what there is to
it
gain.
Goes further back than that. I don't think Taylor Swift needs her boyfriend's NFL team to win championships to sell a lot of records or sell out stadiums.
Maybe they're trying to introduce the NFL to a different demographic.
Oh, maybe. All right.
The word of the day with Reid and Jay.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I break your concentration?
What do they got to say?
Say what again? Say what again? I dare you.
Let's find out.
English, do you speak it? Then you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, thanks, Samuel, for coming in. I like how he walks away from the mic just at the right time to fade out at the end. God, he's talented.
It is really good work.
Yeah, he's got it. He's got an apartment just near West Hampton Mall there.
Oh yeah,
yeah. You know those apartments by the
mall.
Yes, I
do.
Because
exactly.
he just drives up here, does the hit, probably goes to the Phase 3 food court,
right?
And he's going to go to his apartment and watch the Oilers game.
I think Dustin said he get paid in Popeyes gift cards.
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
So he just grabs some Popeyes.
Yeah, makes sense. Popeyes, Boston Pizza. That's where the boys were today. Beaumont, Boston Pizza.
Oh yeah, that's right. All right. So word of the day. So by the way, let's at least get to 180 thumbs. So find 2 more thumbs out there to at least get us to 180. That's still a pretty good day on YouTube if you're in the nasty chat. So word of the day Jay gives a word. I have to spell it and figure out the definition. That's how it works. We'll have 2 today.
The first one is just a gift to you, I believe. At least on the spelling.
Don't tell me that I'm going to get it right, because that's too pressure I can't handle.
Is that too much pressure for you? Edify. Edify.
Well, I know how to spell it. I don't know about the exact meaning of it. Edify. Does it mean to satisfy through cultural delights?
No.
Okay. Hey, thanks. Thanks, Root Bear. We appreciate you coming in as well.
Root Bear. To edify. To edify someone is to teach them in a way that improves their mind or character. So, for instance, the commencement speaker hoped that her words would edify the graduates and give them hope and encouragement.
Okay.
So, 1 out of 2.
Yeah, I do. That was an easy one to spell. Well, there's a magazine called Edify. Right? But I should have known what it meant. So, to teach in a way to improve mind and character. Okay.
The second word of the day.
It's a nice word.
Edify, yeah. Second word of the day. Shilly-shally.
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious.
Shilly-shally. Okay. Does it have a hyphen? Well, I'll just go with how. Well, no, that's
trust
not.
Trust your judgment.
All right, SHILLY-SHALLY. By the way, Matt Hyman says in actual spelling bees, the ding is when you're wrong.
Boo! You suck.
Yeah, and they boo you when you get it right. So shilly-shally. So I spelled it correctly. I mean, it makes me think of dilly-dally, but it can't it can't mean the same thing. Dilly-dally means to sort of delay or hold up, right? Shilly-shally. I'm going to say it's sort of like unnecessary sort of like extra things in a home or in a room. For example, to find my keys, I had to get through all the shilly-shally on the counter. Or, the picture of my grandparents was obscured on the shelf behind all the shilly-shally. That's what I'll say it is. Hugely incorrect.
You got the spelling correct with the hyphen. Shilly-shally.
Yeah.
It's a verb. It is to show indecision or hesitation.
Oh, so it is similar to dilly-dally.
Yeah, no.
But more
you were onto
mental as opposed to a physical delay.
That's right. The jury appeared to be shilly-shallying on the verdict, delaying the final decision.
Wow.
There's no time to shilly-shally, Reid. We need to go now.
I had never heard that word before.
Now you have.
Sexy 5 Cents, he says, Jay is just making words up at this point.
Well, Sexy 5 Cents, I trust me, I am not. These are actual words.
Those are actual words. And we got to 184 thumbs, which is...
that's a lot of thumbs.
Pretty good. McDavid is back tonight for your Edmonton Oilers after the 3-game suspension. They went 2-1 without him. They will try to keep rolling against the Seattle Kraken. They have 7 straight wins in this head-to-head matchup. We had Everett Fitzhugh on, and the Kraken are sort of, they need to figure things out here over the next few games or so to see if they're going to be possibly sellers at the deadline, because they are 8 games out of a playoff spot. So it's a critical time for them. And the Oilers, with a win, jump back into first place in the Pacific Division. What?
Somebody thought the word of the day should be master breeder.
It should be. It should be. Master breeder. It sounds like something out of the the book that
Stop shilly-shallying.
Margaret Atwood book that became a movie.
Reid was shilly-shallying on the definition.
There was a TV show.
What was that?
It's famous. The Margaret Atwood book that became a TV show in the future. I can't believe I forgot the name.
What happened to the music?
I gotta remember the name of the show in the book. This is embarrassing. It's a very famous.
Okay, Margaret Atwood.
Yeah.
What was it? TV show?
It's in the future, yeah, and it's based on a book. And I think it has some sort of women who are used for breeding in it.
The Handmaid's Tale.
Yes, that one, of course. I can't believe I forgot that. All right. Ro puts it in their Handmaid's Tale. Thanks. I'm sorry I forgot that. Okay, 6:30, the stream will be the Oil Stream pregame show with Tom and Hernan. We're back at 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, and the Nielsen show starts our day off tomorrow at 6 a.m. On behalf of Zachary Kubish and the glue guy, Jay Milne, I'm Reid. Enjoy the Oilers game tonight.
Delivers a mass audience of key influential customers to your business, all while you associate your company brand with the biggest names, the hottest sports news, and teams from every league around the globe. Oilers and Elks, NHL, NFL, Major League Baseball, and the association, Formula One, soccer, golf, oh sweet mama! The excitement is palatable on Edmonton Sports Talk. It's where fans go to get their sports fix and where our partners find the most loyal consumers. Contact us today and see how our team on Edmonton Sports Talk can score the biggest goals for your business. With various advertising options available, email business@edmontonsportstalk.com or head to our website and send a message at edmontonsportstalk.com.